Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Broadcast.gg Scrim Nights. I am John Kick Tripod Horseman, and again, got the wonderful, beautiful, awesome crew with me. Lemon Kiwi, Mushu Beef. Hey, guys, how are you both doing?
Doing great.
Doing great. In
Good.
sync too. Wow, look at us. Our synergy
Ooh,
already
love
starting
it.
up, Lemon. We're
So
getting it
good.
going. We don't even need warm
It
up.
is. It is so good. We've got a really exciting match coming up here. Last week, we cast Team Venus versus Ungentleman Black. And, well, Ungentleman Red challenged Team Venus after Team Venus took the win last week. So, Lemon Kiwi, sorry. Go ahead and tell us about this Team Venus squad for maybe those who don't know or missed last week's matches.
Well, last week's match was intense. We had so many viewers in here trying to catch some of the piece of the action of this all-female squad. Of course, I think they played with Chubby Tubbs last time, who
That's
was a
right.
dude. But now they've got a bit of a different roster here. They got Ginger subbing in here as a main Genji and Tracer player, and Akeem as a support fill-in as well, where Ginger is now the dude sub in and everybody else is a gal. But this team is stacked, and the best female players in Overwatch right now, minus Gregory, who actually, congratulations to her making it to Shanghai Dragons as announced or unofficial or unconfirmed. But this team did beat UG, was it Black
That's right.
last best of 5 in a game 5 last map on a control map.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing a little bit different a look than from UG this time with their red squad. What's going on with UG Red here, Mushu?
Well, UG Red is not a stranger to the stream, John, and some familiar names. If all of you have tuned in before to our Scrim Nights, of course, Scooty leading the squad here for UG Red. We'll be playing the Diva, but we've seen Rhino always flanking, always landing the pulse bombs, and of course Fat Chop as well. Lemon, I think we're gonna have a lot of bad calls here with the between the shatters and between just the Dragon Blades. There's gonna be a lot of really great plays. So excited to see, will UG Red avenge their fallen brothers in UG Black, or is it gonna be a double team kill here from Team Venus? We'll have to see.
I don't know. Fat Chop, I remember casting you and I casting him against Serto, another best of 5 that went down, and he was a standout Genji player. His Dragon Blades are on point, while as Venus maybe don't necessarily have that star Genji player, but they got a Reaper, and that's Adept. And we talked about how this girl can play Far, can play Reaper, and can play anything, and I think that's going to be the matchup we're going to want to watch for.
I'm starting the crowdfunding for an Adept is Adept t-shirt. So
the apparel line.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's do
exactly.
it.
Just Adept is Adept. That's all I wanted to say. Just like straight up black t-shirt, white Helvetica.
Ooh.
Adept is Adept.
Helvetica is a good choice.
Tell me that wouldn't.
Great choice.
Tell me that wouldn't look just ballin'. Anyways, we're going into, I believe, Lijiang Tower first, right, Mushu? Going into Lijiang Tower here, what are you expecting to see from these two teams?
Well, there's a lot that you can run, and that's one of my favorite things about Lijiang Tower is you're going to see a lot of different compositions, but we've seen Adept on the Pharah. Again, you remember how they closed it out. This is our Game 5 map of last week, and Adept, and also have to call out Sayumi as well in a positive way. You call someone out in a positive way, right? Because you're looking for her to see if she can still land those right clicks on the Zenyatta. Unfortunately, we missed it kind of during our broadcast, but the support combat's going to be real here for Team Venus.
Oh, she was fragging out on that Zenyatta, and when you got a Zenyatta who can not only support but also do the damage, that's an extra support / DPS player. But I did also forget that Ginger, one of their sub-ins, is actually the, I guess, Genji preferred hero player for that squad. So maybe we'll see Ginger be the one that steps up against Fat Chop, and alongside Adept, we'll have to see what kind of DPS matchups we're going to see on Venus with these fill-ins.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really exciting one here. I think we're about ready. Let me let our players know. Boom, there it is. Players now know we're ready.
They know.
And we're gonna go ahead and get in. You have to, the way to let them know you're ready is just go boom into the microphone, and that's how they know. So
yeah,
very high quality.
What better way?
Right there.
What better way?
I'm really excited for this match. This one's going to be a fun one. I want to see Adept.
Yeah.
She's yelling at me right now because I didn't capitalize Adept. You don't write, if it's in Helvetica, it's always in all caps anyways. We know this, right? So.
It's true.
All right.
What a beautiful font. You guys hear that music coming in the background? I know we already know we're going to Lijiang Tower, but still.
Guess that map based on the music. It's a little,
right?
It's a little game show we're starting at the beginning.
I think you can do pretty well doing that. I mean, the music is so unique per map. What are your favorite pieces of music? Let's start with you. Start with you, John. What do you think?
Like in Overwatch?
Yeah, in Overwatch.
Or favorite pieces? Probably the Bastion short. The beginning of the Bastion short. It's just this amazing piano melody, metally. It's my favorite for sure. So yeah. That's got to be mine. I know it's not technically in Overwatch, but
Overwatch themed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in it enough.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could play that. I don't know if you guys watched that BlizzCon game where they showed like a tiny little speck of a map, and players, or I guess the streamers, had to guess what Overwatch map it was. And it's just these little corners of the map
that's
that you just like never look at.
Yeah, that's
so
the they do the streamer showdown. That one's really fun.
Yeah.
For sure. But you know what else is fun, Lemon?
What?
Is Overwatch. We're going to be starting it out game 1, UG Red versus Team Venus.
Oh, the doors are opened up, and we've got both squads rolling out on the red. We've got Team Venus on the blue. UG Red. We're actually Deathball coming in from the side of Venus, but full dive here coming out of UG Red.
Yeah, and you can see something interesting we don't see very often, Fat Chop on the Doomfist. So let's see if they can make use of the walls. And there's a lot of them. Goes to the backline, and Ginger's going to be taking out their DPS. Not the best way to start it off, and even Rhino getting in on the action here. It's starting to fall here, but they can keep up. Marla in the middle be doing quite well, but unfortunately not able to do so. Looks like UG Red should be able to take it first.
Yeah, great job from UG Red, crumbling their DPS and then targeting the tanks right after that for the initial capture. Bullywug already gets the primal rage in the first minute of the game.
Wow.
You can see the setup here from the defense. They're not actually focusing on the spawn doorway that can be quite an effective a choke point to hold. But in this next point here, you see no changes coming out from really either squad, but self-destruct, or no, that's not self-destruct, that's just Scooty getting back into the mech, luckily before this next fight. As Venus jumps here onto the point, Marla is gonna be hammering everybody away. Bullywug tries to get behind here, but the coordination out of these tanks here from UG Red is devastating.
Yeah, and look at that. They're just starting to really flood into the point. But now we start to see Team Venus. They were stabilizing, but just as I say that, the Transcendence comes out. Exile, though, alone on the point with Scooty and Bullywug off in the wings. They're combining the sound barrier. They want to win this, but this is now giving enough time for the rest of the team to get back here. But here comes Ginger, has the Dragon Blade, gets the kill into Rhino, and that's a critical one because now it is just Fat Chop left to go. And Ginger, but the self-destruct will take out Ginger as well. This have not been able to flip the point yet, despite it being only a sliver, and they might not even be able to because now it's going to be UG Red coming back.
Oh, it's not even over yet. Yeah, it was a Dragon Blade and a Riptide invested here from the side of Team Venus, but it was Scooty that brought it to self-destruct, and the Doomfist got a pick, I believe, onto the Lucio, bringing it to a 3v3 situation. An Earthshatter slams down here for Venus, but the cleanup actually comes from UG Red. After 2 DPS ultimates that Venus invested, it was UG Red that came out on top.
Yeah, the contest was so good, and they are able to flip it. UG Red stepped off the point for a moment, but just as quickly as it took for them to step off the point, they captured it right back in the sound barrier. Now, this is going to be UG Red coming into the back line. They want to be able to stop them here and keep them at the point, and Ginger retreating all the way back, trying to get to spawn, but not even able to get them the doors, and Sayumi falls to the same fate. They're already back up to those yellow box of invulnerability, Lemon. They're going to have a tough time getting back as it hits 91%.
Yeah, 92, 93, and it might just be over unless we can get
Adept.
a quick speed boost back onto the point, but it's Adept who switches to the Reaper, and a full dive transition from the side of Team Venus, but unfortunately not able to sneak past the defenses here of UG Red to maybe trigger overtime. Changes coming in a little bit late here for Team Venus.
Yeah, a little bit tough there. I mean, they lost the first fight and are not able to wrestle it back, and they started to look good moving on to the point together as a group, and even a good Earthshatter, but the follow-up was not there. But Lemon, what better map to bounce back than Gardens here on Lijiang Tower?
Oh yeah, this is definitely a depths map on the far. We see I believe it was the last time we saw Venus against UG Black. This was the map that they really dominated on, and it fit more of their playstyle and composition. Now, getting away from the death ball here. Venus are going to try going with this full dive. Adept on the far. Sayumi, the Mercy Pal by her side. And on the side of UG Red, the same composition. Fat Chop still on the Doomfist.
Yeah, gonna have to fight on the point, and I mean, if you're picking him the Doomfist, you expect to be just moving towards the point first, but that's already Adept getting the first pick onto Banana Bolts, and here we go. This is the fight we're looking for. We knew that Venus would be strong here, but starting off with 2 kills, that's pretty good.
Super good, and UG Red don't really have a hit scan to deal with Adept, so she's able to get all the free kills, and the cleanup here coming out from Team Venus, and this is kind of a nightmare that happened last time when Adept started off with the double boop on this exact map against a similar team, but not the exact team. First capture here for Team Venus. They're going to be setting up their defenses, but unfortunately Marla falls off the map.
Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. Maybe trying to jump for some health packs, but that's going to be the boop. Exile taken off the map here. We saw the Sayumi do so well in the Zenyatta last time, but can't do quite well when you're in with those digital fishies under the point. But now it's going to be UG Red. They're moving on to it. They are able to take out Adept though, so Rhino with a pretty good pick off there so far as we zoom in and check out their point of view, and has the pulse bomb ready to go. GMEC the D.Va as well. So Rhino, they need more support though. And they got the stick onto the Lucio. That's 3 kills already going their way. The rest of the team needs to pick up the slack.
Yeah, that's the struggle. A team got picked in both those team fights. But they first were missing Marla, one of their main tanks, in the start of this team fight, and then UG Red were able to pick off both supports. Even when Akeem was trying to get back into the fight, gets pulse bombed right away, but Adept here is still alive. Doesn't have the Mercy quite by her side, but she's trying to rocket everybody away. But this is going to be some tight corners here, going to get discorded, trying to take advantage of these spaces as Fat Chops gets out of the barrage that comes out of Adept as Scooty lives down, lets behind another surprise. Picking up 2, make it 3. UG Red take back, or at least continue to hold the point here.
Yeah, but even despite all that, you look at the score, they've lost 2 fights now, but it's only just now becoming even, and so Rhino will still be poking away. We saw them hold Team Venus in spawn before, but Rhino versus Ginger, don't know who exactly is going to win this, but Rhino trying to go for the health pack, will be able to get there, but now it's going to give enough time for Adept in this team to get back to the point.
Well, 48 or at least 50% here for UG Red, but a lot of ultimates on the board. Meaning Bullywug brings up the Primal Rage and almost knocks Kristen off the map, and he's going to go and rage up on the point and just knock everybody in sight, including Marla, who also has the Primal Rage. As finally a Lucio Sound Barrier comes in from the side of UG Red, but they lose Rhino in the process, who had the pulse bomb, but still, that chop is most likely going to go down here. That's a double kill here for Ginger. Team Venus looking for the retake. They just have to deal with the tanks here. Bullywug is extremely low. Scooty again is another surprise. Forces all these members from Team Venus to retreat, but it gets bubbled there by Marla as the retake comes in for Team Venus, and just in time, 80% for UG Red.
And they were able to stop that, and the stall would have come in more if they had not taken out Scooty at the end. So really great play by Ginger to get the full clip onto the DMEC D.Va. And so we'll see if they're feeling distraught after that, moving across the bridge. And to avoid the concussive blast here, they're moving on very quickly. Adept is going to use the rocket barrage, but they have brought out the Transcendence in reply. Support ultimates coming out from both sides here, Lemon, and it's going to be already Adept getting the kill into Exile. It's starting off pretty well. They need to get more kills, but they lose Marla on the way.
Losing a couple members here. We got another Doomfist up, and this guy's crashes down and finds the Lucio. Akeem again getting picked, but Adept trades in with a kill onto one of the tanks. As we take a look at the point, it's really only members of UG Red remaining. Just have to clean up this last member here, Ginger, as another retake comes in from UG Red. But hitting that 90% mark means Venus need to quickly get back to the point. They still have Kristen self-destruct, needing to send that in to zone off this defense for UG Red, allow Team Venus to get into this point. But now here comes the Valkyrie from Sayumi to start this fight.
And we're gonna see now Scooty though, Marla getting punished yet again, but here's Kristen, that present you're talking about, see if it delivers. Fat Chop being left with one, and Marla now is back into the fight, being rezzed back up. But it is already back and forth. Overtime here. It needs to be Team Venus walking away with the win if they want to stay in this map here on Lijiang Tower. And Sayumi might have the answer. 20 seconds, though, away from the res, and will get taken out on the way. These tanks are making so much space for UG Red, Lemon.
Well, only the tanks are made from Team Venus, and Marla's able to buy herself a little bit more time here with the Primal Rage. But look at these kills start trickling in here for Team Venus. Fat Chop, however, still alive. The barrage comes in from Adept, able to DMEC Scooty off the D.Va. It's not over yet. Still Doomfist
they flip
remains. they flip it. Fat Chop decides to disengage, not going to punch anybody out of that point quite soon, and they're going to be able to bring themselves to 90%, but this is going to be a 99-99 fight as UG Red need to quickly get back to the point. Fat Chop and Tracer here have a battle here onto the other side inside this little corridor, and he finds again Akeem gets picked.
Yeah, Fat Chop finds a big kill off of the Meteor Strike, but it's going to be muffing the inside. He's not going to have that health from the sound barrier that the rest of the team was able to gain, and now that whole health is being let down. Is 99-99. Fat Chop trying to take the 1v1, and it's going to hit Tracer off the side, who has to use the recall. And Ginger is going to win that battle, though, and the kills are falling through. Team Venus seem like they've finally done it.
Oh, at 99%, Adept last minute switches to the Reaper.
Yeah.
And in less than, what, a minute that she's been on it, almost gets the Death Blossom 25% away. But very crucial switches coming out of Adept too. Although she wasn't really getting bothered by the Doomfist as much, I think this Reaper was allowing to help her team deal with that Doomfist and the tanks that were surviving for so long from UG Red.
And not only was the Reaper helping out with the Doomfist, but we saw Ginger popping off against Fat Chop there on the Doomfist, and able to kind of keep that a 1v1. If you can keep a Doomfist from hitting someone into a wall, you kind of just charge your Rocket Punch and just throw yourself at the team, and you're pretty much going to hit somebody with how a Doomfist works and with that hitbox. So it was really good for Ginger to turn the head of Fat Chop away from the rest of the fight, and that's really what really helped them there.
Well, Fat Chop is not going to be getting off of this Doomfist, and he played so much Genji and other characters actually in the last matches we watched him, but he's very comfortable on this Doomfist. Again, this dive comes in here from Marley, gets initiated, she gets picked along with an Adept, crumbling the offense here of Team Venus. Even the DMAC comes in from Kristen, and I think this Doomfist is acting as a very good anti-dive, and crumbling here what's left of Team Venus as they go for the capture.
Yeah, they're on the point, and we saw a little bit of a tussle with Rhino and Ginger on the side, but again, just in the same way Ginger distracted Fat Chop, now Ginger is just being pulled off the point as well. You don't have the damage in from the Genji where you want it to be, and now getting in a tussle again. That's going to be Ginger falling. Team Venus not able to rebound and get set up for the next fight.
Well, into this next fight here, you can see UG Red being a little bit aggressive, and Team Venus really trying to huddle up and see how they're going to deal with this next situation. Adept here onto the Reaper again, as this fight will be initiated here, this time onto the high ground where UG Red are waiting for them, as they finally going to get down, but an important pick there. Fat Chop goes down, which has been the star player for UG Red, really causing all the trouble as the Dragon Blade here comes out of Ginger, trying to deal with some of these things, slices the Bullywug, gets the triple kill onto the supports. They move on to the point and get rewarded for their efforts.
And there you go, a little glamour shot there for Ginger. I'm gonna check out the third person, because that was excellent. Great plays there, and that's exactly what they needed. They're going to start counting up from 7% as of now. Now they're going to try to do a little bit of a stall here, Lemon, but Ginger can't die to this. They can't afford to lose someone on a stall, because that would be exactly the opposite of what they want.
Yeah, Venus have a very important task of keeping up this choke with Cold here. They are going a little bit deeper, trying to chase this final kill of the Tracer, but still able to pick up actually the Lucio in the process. So now needing to disengage. So they're going to stall that player out. Great kill. Next team fight, however. A lot of support ultimates coming out, mainly the transcendences from both sides. Scooty again has been amazing with the placements of his self-destructs. Expect him to want to disposition or unposition these players from Team Venus. Again, Sayumi gets the pick on the Fat Chop. There's Scooty's self-destruct, forces some of these players to go inside, but still was not able to get any picks. All the kills in favor here of Team Venus. Nothing happened for UG Red.
And look at this, they're able to stuff them back exactly where they want it to be. The Meteor Strike, they're going to have to disengage here, but Fat Chop jumping in again when the rest of the team is not there. Fat Chop may escape with his life, but that was not how you wanted to use that ultimate. They're starting to fall apart, and here's another way to fall apart. You're going to get cut up from the Death Blossom. It seems to have bloomed here for Team Venus.
Wow, great placement of Death Blossom. Very aggressive stance here coming out of Team Venus. And Scooty not there to really absorb some of this Adept bullets coming in, but now still in a defensive position. Ginger again having that Dragon Blade coming in. Sound Barrier is going to be triggered here for the offense, and counter Sound Barrier coming in as Fat Chop is going to have a little bit of room to start punching people in sight. They're making their way to the point with so many ultimates on the board. Mainly have to look for Ginger, but no, he goes down with it.
Rhino also contributing to that. The entire team, they have a little bit of a wider flank, and it seemed to be enough. Maybe Team Venus being too aggressive. But Exile has the Transcendence, and you see on the other side, Ginger with that nice yellow circle. That means the Dragon Blade is ready to go. So it's going to be a question of will the Transcendence come out first or the Dragon Blade? Exile here is going to be pressured a lot from Marla. Did not bring out the Transcendence. Look, here it comes though. Was very patient with that, so was able to keep it for this time being. And Ginger will fall for it. So a critical mistake there, or outplay, we should say, from UG Red.
Yeah, Fat Chop gave a fat fizz there to the Ginger, brought out the Dragon Blade, gets nullified from the Transcendence. Nothing comes out of the ultimates that were invested here from Team Venus. But they still hold on, but UG Red still hold on to the point here, and now they're going to be having an equally aggressive defensive stance to keep Team Venus from even leaving the main doorway. This Ginger at least is able to take out one of the DPS players from UG Red. Now this is their opportunity to get onto the point.
Wow. Yeah, their opportunity, they're pretty much just given the red carpet, and they just roll onto the point. Entirety of UG Red was scattered, and this is even gonna have the, oh my goodness there. That is a galactic ultimate. The Graviton Surge pulling everyone together, and Adept just putting the shotguns. You don't have to really aim even that much, as it will be overtime running out after Bullywug goes down, and Team Venus should be able to take this here on Lijiang Tower.
Wow, very smart switch from Kristen to go from, I believe it was the Diva onto the Zarya, and like you said, the well placement, or the great placement of the Graviton and Death Blossom at the very end. And I mean, maybe she just wasn't able to match up against Scooty, or perhaps that she wanted to try and build that energy, because Fat Chop just kept getting or just punching them and shooting them and everything. So maybe a great counter to that was to bubble these players that get attacked here from Fat Chop.
Great play from both sides, but it will be Team Venus taking the first map in a close 2-1 as we welcome back John to the desk.
Wow, that didn't start out how it ended. I was a little
Yeah.
nervous for Team Venus there on that first round. Mushu, what did you see them change, Team Venus, between the first round and the second and third round to be able to take this map?
Yeah, it seemed to be about taking care of the tanks for the side of Team Venus. You saw Marla throwing herself and kind of trying to sacrifice herself for the cause of Team Venus. But as soon as that happened, then the supports had no one to really peel for them. And so as in just keep those supports safe. And so supports keeping the tanks alive and the tanks keeping the supports alive was really crucial to that. Because it wasn't really about Adept and Ginger. They were doing really well, but it was about UG Red finding those kills on the tanks very early on in the fight on that first map that really helped UG Red win out that fight. So as soon as they started paying attention to staying together, keeping alive for Team Venus, they were able to win it.
Yeah, what about Lemon? What about Fat Chop? We talked about Fat Chop a lot on the side of UG Red, but he seemed to really be one of the make or break points for that UG Red team.
Yeah, I mean, on the first Control Center map, you saw Venus play this Death Ball, and Fat Chop just sticking onto the Doomfist and able to just not only get through to the tanks, but also into the backline here with his use of verticality and the amount of damage he can put out in such a close range, and even dealing with the tracers and the DPS first, as Mush already mentioned, dealing with the tanks. And he stuck on that pick the entire time, and it worked out for every map that has happened so far. And Team Venus were really struggling to find a good counter to not only his playstyle, but that particular hero. They brought out the Zarya to try and build energy and try and protect the players that were getting dove there by the Doomfist. They also brought out a Reaper for some even more close range sort of DPS, but I don't know how they're going to deal with Fat Chop. He's quite the star DPS player for UG Red.
I'm saying this right now, but continue to watch Bullywug going forward. His Winston, I mean, those team fights that were won were almost always on the back of Bullywug. So this is going to be interesting. We're going into Watch Point Gibraltar right now. Mushu, any team particularly in your mind with the edge? I don't think that we saw Venus win on Gibraltar last time, correct?
I believe you're correct. So what we had seen was, I think we're going to have to watch for Team Venus as they will be on the attack first. They struggle between point B and C. You want to finish with the momentum, and UG Red have to watch out for Rhino and Fat Chop. Will they decide to bring a flanker DPS in terms of getting the picks? And if they do, can they get the kills quick enough? because that's really what's going to take apart Venus. Like I talked about, you take away one of the supports and one of the tanks from that core. One of those four, if you can kill them, then it really stops the momentum. But if Team Venus can stay together and push forward fast enough before the flankers can get kills, that'll be Team Venus who should be comfortably finishing the map. Alrighty then. Yeah, and watch point Gibraltar. Did we lose John?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, we're here. Because we're here. Actually, you know what you're right. We are here. We are here on Watch Point Gibraltar.
Hey, there's the camera.
Hey. We're zooming in here. Yeah.
Well, the doors will be unlocking here shortly, and like you said, UG right onto the defense, running the full dive and pretty much the exact same comp. Even Fat Chop here on the Doomfist. You see Adept picking up that Pharah, be able to use her verticality and her flight to already sort of knock out some players from the defense. And Sayumi off the Mercy onto the Ana. Ginger already goes for the quick swap onto the McCree.
And it's going to start to pay dividends. Landing the shots, trying to get the shot onto Rhino there. No, not able to find quite yet. See the hit scan going from the Tracer to the McCree. A little bit of time to get adjusted, but it will be Team Venus. We talked about in the pre-game a bit, as we previewed a minute ago, about how Team Venus, they're all about momentum, and you saw how quickly they came out and found their shots there. Lemon, UG Red were not able to get the kills fast enough with their flanking heroes, Fat Chop and Rhino.
I'm going to be looking forward to see if Sayumi can get some really clutch sleep darts onto the Doomfist. Maybe sort of enable him and cancel him out, and then let the tanks deal with him. I think it should be really Kristen's job to try and dive him, absorb some of his bullets. Oh my god, already Adept here with the barrage. Takes out one. And actually a bunch of members here are missing from UG Red. They're going to be advancing here to the final stage of Point A. It should be an easy capture unless Scooty has something to say about it.
Oh, these rockets finding their mark. It's almost like has the auto aim, but the prediction seeing to the future by a second or two with the rockets. Is Adept really saving the day for the team? They had already gotten picked off. I believe that was Sayumi who got pulse bomb stuck by Rhino, but still Adept was like, nah, it's cool. I got my rockets and I'll be able to push on through. They take point A with not too much resistance.
Well, now they got to keep this momentum moving forward as UG Red are able to reestablish themselves onto the defense. Need to take up this top of the ship here where Adept and the rest of Team Venus will be establishing themselves. Now some action here onto the point. That's Fat Chop and the Winston and Lucio and everybody here from UG Red stopping the payload in its tracks, but Adept has something to say about that. It goes into the air and is rocketing everybody in sight, but missing a few teammates by her side means Team Venus will have to go for a reset. And that momentum will be stopped for now.
Yeah, but they don't want to say no. They see the momentum starting to stall, but they give it the old starter motor, and a good way to get it going again is Adept with the rocket barrage, but it only takes out Fat Chop. Adept goes down for it. Marley has already invested the primal rage, and so with this is going to be the nano boost as well. I mean, they're throwing everything into this. They don't want that cart to stop, and they are just reinforcing here very slowly but surely, and finally they're a full team on the point.
Now continuing to the final point, or the final phase here of Point B. Let's see, Fat Chop is just laying around this corner, waiting for a target to dive onto and waiting for the rest of his team to initiate this one. It's a very good early pick there from Ginger onto Winston, but they lose their support in the progress. They invest a sound barrier onto the offense. Ginger is up top, but he's going to get dove there smartly from Scooty, who's going to eat all of that Deadeye. Unfortunately, costs his mech in the process.
Yeah, and look at this. I mean, you lose the mech and they lose the fight as well, and Kristen's still gonna have hers on the side, just losing it now. And they'll have to see what Rhino can do. There's not too many people here from the side of UG Red to stop it, except this is gonna be the Primal Rage Bullywug. John talked about looking for him. Well, he's the only one to look at on the point from the defense. It's gonna be now the reinforcing. See the tanks onto the point as well, but Adept already close to that rocket barrage yet again. Just has to work around this bubble, and then this Diva mech will have free reign to do it. It's gonna come out and has to sacrifice the mech for it, but it might be the defense stabilizing right now.
Unfortunately, Akeem sort of leaves Adept to go heal another player, and Adept finally gets picked after surviving for so long, and there's that momentum stopped at the worst place possible at the very end of Point B. They have so much room to make up for now. You can see Fat Chop already just punching these tanks away, but he's gonna get dove, is able to use his ultimate to get up into the skies and evade that situation, most likely get back here with his team, but no, he's aggressive, he wants blood. Deadeye here into the skies by Ginger, and is not going to be able to find a target. But the kills are going in favor here of Team Venus. Now they need to move this momentum to the payload.
Yeah, they do have Rhino in the back line though, so Ginger's gonna fall. But Ginger's just on the wrong side of this point though to be able to stop it here. I don't know if any of the defenders can get back. It's only Fat Chop, but that's enough time to contest to allow Scooty to get back with the mech. But how much longer can the mech be held? It's used to self-destruct and to add a little bit more boom into this defense, and they will take out Kristen's mech. So this might be again the defense holding because Adept is losing the health only now, just getting healed up, but has to deal with so many defenders as they're spawning closer.
Yeah, that was a great placement of the self-destruct by Scooty. He waited for Marla's bubble to be down and then popped it, forcing everybody to not have any protection and then costing the D-mech of one of their tanks. So now this momentum is draining here for Team Venus. They're having to disengage. A lot of their players here are low, and the D-mech comes in from Kristen. As the defense from UG Red hold on now, but a lot of ultimates are on the board for Team Venus for this next one.
And this is a tough one to go into. Kristen without the mech here, Lemon. It's going to be tough because you see the mech on the other side and they even have the sound barrier to reinforce on it, but they're going to put the nano boost onto Marla to try to charge it up and keep them alive, but everyone else is being killed from the team, so Marla decides to stand there, accept the fate, and reset. They have 1 minute left to work with. Lemon, you talked about how tough it is to get it started again. That's what we're seeing here with Team Venus.
Yeah, they just quickly threw that nano boost on whoever was available. Not sure I agree on target, but you see Sayumi now switching to the Lucio. They want to try and speed boost and put a lot more pressure onto this defense coming up, but a very important pulse bomb from Rhino finds a depth. So now no Resurrect is going to be able to come in as the Akeem gets picked off in the process. And only 30 seconds remain. Team Venus need to go into a safe spot now if they want to try and push this payload in the amount of time, but then actually a back cap comes in.
Yeah, my goodness. Wow. Yeah, didn't even see that happening, and they're rushing back to the point. I mean, this is what happens when you have a really aggressive defense. You can just lose track of it, and you can also lose track of the fact that Adept is going to be raining in rockets and just putting them in your face. I mean, that's justice from the side of Venus, but maybe UG Red feeling like the ruling should have gone in their favor, as that was very, very unfair of a back cap.
Oh, it was just the perfect strategy to use when you have such a gap in distance. Send your Tracer to see if they can go for a back cap and force the drawback from the defense, and then ultimately they only had 30 seconds left. If that wouldn't have happened, that would have been the end of the road here for Team Venus. Transcendence comes out for the defense, and now they're pushing back Team Venus.
And this is going to be the stall again, and we're down back to a same situation. 1 minute left to go, and they have to recoup, try to stay alive. It's going to be UG Red pushing up quickly, but you see the way that they're kind of a little bit more hesitant now. They're pulling back. They're being safe. They want to watch out, make sure they don't have a back cap or be pulled apart as a team. They want to get back together and just take stock of what ultimates they have. They have the self-destruct and the pulse bomb to work with as they move into the fight.
Well, that Valkyrie here from Akeem. Team Venus goes in, but they lose one of their supports in the process and make that a second DPS as well. It's not going to be enough, and not sure if Akeem feels comfortable to go for any Resurrects, although the Valkyrie here is in the sky. Marla drops.
Oh no.
And that was a very much wasted of a Valkyrie in that fight.
Another swap. Adept is going to be onto the Reaper now. They want to get the damage in up close and deal with this Tracer. It's been one of the biggest thorns in their side, and see if they can extract that. But the Primal Rage being entered very, very close to their spawn. Maybe they would have wished that, you know they got to get to the point. That would have been a good ultimate to have on the point itself, but they seem to have the plan, and that plan is going to be a lot of extra health from the sound barrier here. Lemon, it's the last fight.
Last fight over time is in effect, and Marla's gonna bring out the Primal Rage to bat everybody away from the card, but there's so many members here still in the backline. Fat Chop finally goes down, those very important pick. Now dealing with the tanks. Team Venus unfortunately invests the Death Blossom there, although it does get a few kills, finally clears everything off of the cart.
Ooh.
Now heading to the final part here, the final part of Gibraltar. Can Team Venus hold on to overtime? They're gonna be trying to hold on to these doorways, but UG Red's finally waiting for all their members to be alive. Adept picks off Bullywog very early here, but self-destruct gets left from Team Venus, and it finds two.
With a bang, Team Venus roll into point C. We kind of maybe even saw that coming before. Team Venus struggling when their momentum stops, but they're able to kick it into high gear thanks courtesy to Hellfire Shotguns, Reaper, and a nice self-destruct. You see that golden box of victory. Lemon, UG Red now have to finish all the way, but no other time for Venus to respond with. It'll only be 1 minute by default, so UG Red have an opportunity to finish, but they gotta first just get point C.
Yes, very solid defense from UG Red, and bringing it to overtime gives them a huge advantage of, yeah, they still have to finish the map, but if they finish with more time, that'll give them significant more advantage coming up to the next rounds. But I just want to highlight that play that came out of Team Venus. They got the pick onto Bullywug and then immediately put the self-destruct down, knowing that it couldn't be bubbled from the Winston, which just cleared the entire area, and there was no way for anyone to defend against it because the cart was about to be secured. So that was a very smart play from Team Venus, and very surprising that Adept, again, switching from the Pharah onto the Reaper, although, you know, there's not really any hit scans of UG Red that is dealing with Adept, but I think she thinks she can be more effective close range with the Reaper.
Because you see how much damage that Rhino is doing up close, and a Reaper's a good way to deter a Tracer. I mean, how many 1v1s do you win as Tracer versus a Reaper? Even if you get stuck with a Pulse Bomb, you have the Wraith Walk to get away safely. So we'll see. This might be the adjustment. I don't know if we're going to see any more Adept on the Pharah, as she will continue to stay on the Reaper.
Well, yeah, a couple of swaps came in from that last one. Mainly, I think it was Akeem that was playing a bit of, was it Mercy, and then switched to Lucio. Then you had Sayumi that was Ana. Yeah, there's so many swaps that came in from the side of Team Venus. But what's interesting is Rhino picking up this Widow on the offense. We haven't seen him use it quite yet. He's going to get these sights on to the defense from Team Venus as the dive is initiated here from the rest of the squad.
Yeah, and there's Marla waiting in the wings. They will get the cart. Actually, no one's really pushing the cart right now. They're just fighting on the upper ground. Fat Chop continuing to push on the point. But Ginger, the adjustment, the no more Tracer, but on the Soldier instead, and that might be the answer. Just don't have to get even close enough to the range. You can just do damage with your Pulse Fire rifle from afar.
Ouch. Ginger got a triple there by himself. That was insane, and completely dismantling the offense from UG Red, but the fight is not over yet. Fat Chop just punching everybody here in sight, and still has a few members quite low that are near him. Adept is able to get away, and unfortunately Ginger is going to get singled out along with Adept. So actually it was all the picks that came from Team Venus, but the sustain from UG Red allows them to make it through Car Wash with the payload.
Yeah, and it's not without resistance though. We see Venus, they're trying to go back and get together as a team. They're starting to stuff those sides that we can see Team Venus starting to work towards. They are past Car Watch, as you said. They're now onto that upper ground. They're done with the ramp. And this is going to be at least one more fight, one more possibility here for Venus. But Marla's dropping so low.
Oh gosh, she's probably going to get picked here. Oh, but she's able to get a little bit of healing as the Tag Visor distracts everybody and brings all the action towards Ginger, who gets picked. But now everyone was trying to save Ginger, and Adept brings out the Death Blossom while she was super low and was not enough to protect her from all the damage coming in. As Kristen even gets a nano boost at the very end, she leaves the surprise behind, but that's not going to be enough to stop the payload from being secured.
Kristen even gets taken out there too, and so it's going to be finally UG Red moving on to point A. 4 minutes left to work with. Team Venus have to find an answer to stall the momentum here, because you roll on through this point. I mean, it is kind of hard to stop the momentum here, but once you do, it's hard to start it back up, as we mentioned. And Team UG Red content to hang on top of this ship and see if they can get some picks on the back line.
Yeah, they have the good positioning here, but Team Venus brought a couple swaps, and mainly Ginger onto the McCree again, who gets picked, unfortunately. Sayumi also brings out the Zenyatta, one of her better, or probably best heroes. It seems she gets some long-range picks, but here's the follow-up from Team Venus. That's Adept and Kristen going absolutely off here on the kill feed. Bullywug brings up the Primal Rage, but too much damage dealers in his space, as Team Venus step onto the payload, stop it in its tracks, and now chase these offensive players back home to the spawn room.
It was a fight on two fronts, and we were watching the payload at the time, but we saw that Team Venus were able to defend against UG Red's deep dive, and they were relying on Rhino winning the battle versus Marla, and was not able to do so. So that means that they're only able to move it now, and now it's going to be Team Venus on kind of the backside here. They're doing this flank, but they're not able to find the kills quite yet. And here comes a self-destruct, though. It's put on the spot that will take out Exile, and it's going to continue. Adept to bring out another Death Blossom.
She's a spitting death comes in and picks off all the rest of the players. But I also want to highlight a very important pick from Ginger at the beginning, who stunned the Doomfist of Fat Chop coming in and was able to pick him off right before he could do any more damage. Unfortunately, UG Red did lose Exile very early in that fight as the Mercy, so it's really cutting their healing in half. And then Adept again with these Death Blossoms. How fast she's able to build them up is insane. But next fight coming in, Team Venus have the upper and the lower ground. So
wow.
we have UG Red to see how they're going to vanquish this.
And this is so tough because you saw them trying to move in with their flankers, and now Team Venus punishing for them for moving in aggressively and trying to get set up on the flank before they go onto the point. But Team Venus able to pick them off. And what this means is that they're going to now be ahead of the ultimate race. They were more balanced before, but now you can see some pretty good ones. It's the Zenyatta Transcendence as well as the High Noon, which is coming out right now from Ginger.
Oh, but he gets smashed from
okay.
the sky from Bad Shop.
Okay.
Hello. And now he's coming in for some more blood onto the payload, but no distance being earned at the end of the day. But the kills are going forward. This means this momentum is finally reached from UG Red. They'll be able to most likely secure this one, but there's still some members, some reinforcements of Team Venus that might be able to stall this one before it gets home.
Yeah, okay, I forgot that Meteor Strike might be a very hard counter to the High Noon, and it seems like that Ginger found out too and is gonna go ahead and switch off of that Tracer, saying, yeah, I can't use that ultimate, I'll switch to a hero of one that I can use.
Yeah, but she misses that ability to use the stuns, which was able to counter the Doomfist. But yeah, this Deadeye is not going to be able to go down as long as this Doomfist has the Meteor Strike. But Primal Rage coming in for the offense, batting all these members away from the payload. Death Blossom from Adept comes in, but he gets absorbed here from Scooty mostly.
Wow.
And then punched out of the sky from Fat Chop. Fat Chop has just been aggressively going after Adept, forcing her to wraith away, and the follow-up coming through. And the bat and the cap goes in. And the picks go through.
Oh.
Team Venus now have to establish themselves for the next fight.
Yeah, and Marla got picked off so late there at the end here too, and Fat Chop waiting for them to come out of the spawn. I don't know if Team Venus knows this is going to be a rocket punch away from a squishy being smushed against the wall, and even has the Meteor Strike to follow up on it. It's so powerful when the spot you want a Meteor Strike is right next to where you are right now, and Scooty will even pick off a kill into Akeem. This is starting to become a disaster here for Team Venus.
Meteor Strike.
Well, now there's still some plays from Team Venus that are able to make it to the payload, but now these forces of Team Venus are separated. They're finally able to make some distance with the payload, forcing Team Venus back into the spawn. But again, this Doomfist is on fire. Self-destruct sent here from the defense. It's not able to find much. Ginger switches to the Roadhog. He gets some hooks onto the Fat Chop. Maybe able to disable him in there as the Sound Barrier comes in for the offense.
Yeah, but they have lost Bullywug though, and that's a pretty big one because they have no bubbles here for the team, no damage mitigation. That damage mitigation on the other side is going to be the Transcendence coming out, trying to stabilize it here, give them the time to bring it back, but it already gotten the pick onto the tank here, but the self-destruct comes out the other way for the offense. Hopefully no one gets picked, but Akeem, no, that is just so unfortunate. They have the defender's advantage, but look at this momentum from the attackers.
Oh, they're trying to bring it home, and the most ideal scenario here from Team Venus is to burn as much time on the clock, stall this payload as much as you can. Even Kristen brings out the Zarya. They're going full tanks to the wall. Adept has a Death Blossom. Can she maybe make it back to the payload and rein that in? She's coming up the stairs, but everyone is knocking at the door, and the payload makes it home with, I believe, 2 minutes and 12 in the time bank.
What do you do with a Doomfist? I don't know how many times we have to ask that question, but it is a very real and serious one that Team Venus has to answer right now. And a tough one at that. I mean, that's a stumper. It's when you put in the end of the SATs and you say, you know, I guess I'm not going to get my perfect score today.
Well, both teams get a perfect score on Gibraltar, 3 points each, but just a little bit more time on the clock for UG Red, and I think Team Venus are doing a good effort of trying to adapt to this Doomfist and Fat Chop. They bring the McCree for the stuns. They bring out a Roadhog to maybe try and hook him out of these dives. They brought a Zarya to maybe build some energy off of him. And I want to say these are all counters to Fat Chop, but because he's the one that's messing up Team Venus's momentum a lot of the time. And Rhino, of course, doing a great job onto the Tracer. Not going to ignore him as well, but Fat Chop is just such a nuisance whenever he plays.
And hasn't even had to switch off of the Doomfist. And it's so interesting because there are a lot of walls, and this is kind of just a front-to-back map. So when you find someone in the corridor, you can hit him against the wall and get that bonus damage. Team Venus, they're going to have to hunker down, get on the payload, and just hope that they can push it as far as they can. And Ginger will be on the Bastion, so let's see if they can get set up. Don't know if the defense are going to be ready for this.
I'm not really sure what this setup is since they don't really have any proper tanks to defend him. He's gonna get dove immediately.
Oh my gosh.
All these bullets are getting absorbed.
How is he
here from
alive?
Scooty. What is this team fight right now? It's at the doors of Venus. Ginger still able to rain bullets and find and demech here one of the tanks and deal with exile before getting traded out in that process. After all the blood is shed, they make it through car wash, and then it will be up to UG Red to defend this last part here of point A. 20 seconds remain though, Mushu.
Yeah, but that Bastion allowed them to get out of the spawn, which you saw UG Red how strong that was, but the damage output from the Bastion after he was done trying to heal himself and everyone was peeling for him was really good. And Fat Chop goes down here, Lemon.
Oh, this is a great pick, and now they need to follow it up on some of these tanks as overtime will be dwindling down. Somebody needs to be on the payload here. Okay, they do make it just on time, and a very good sleep onto Rhino onto the Tracer. Now they need to follow up on some of these kills. Self-destruct here, left behind by Kristen. Doesn't find anyone, but it builds a lot of distance between these teams. Primal Rage paired up with a Nano Boost. Total angry monkey on the field, and UG Red are not out of this yet.
Yeah, they're only relying on 2 of their members though, and that's gonna be a self-destruct the other way. No, it's so tough. You gotta clear the point, but you also have to stay on. It is the greatest conundrum of Overwatch, and they will have to leave the point, and they get it past Car Wash up the ramp, but not around the corner.
Did you see Ginger had the Dragon Blade at the very last second? Oh, he was trying to chase Rhino on that Tracer and was chasing everybody around, and unfortunately, the team members on the payload were not able to survive, and that Dragon Blade would have probably got them at least to point A if that came out just a few seconds earlier. But now it'll be UG Red's chance to make it to at least a little bit close to point A with 2 minutes and 12 to do so.
This is a tall task. You see, sometimes teams don't even contest until right before the end of point A. We saw that last week, Lemon, with Team Venus's attack. UG Black kind of set up on the back upper ground, but they're going to need a contest definitely very early. You think they're going to try to bring something to stuff them at the spawn?
I don't know. I don't know what that Bastion pick was. Somehow it worked, and UG Red were dealing with it very well by having Scooty dive him as the diva and sort of matrix everything that was coming out, but didn't have enough matrix as he kind of reined in on their mercy and demeched the diva after that. But I don't think there's any really interesting picks coming out of UG Red, kind of running the exact same comp. But Team Venus, on the other hand, gonna run something a little bit more comfortable to them. Marla onto the Zarissa, paired up with Kristen on the Zarya.
They have the shield, but it's put it onto the lower ground and maybe just kind of scout it out. But it's going to be UG Red diving past the shield itself. Patch Chop will go down before, though, Adept taking him out with there's shields, or the rocket, excuse me, the shotgun. I can't even say the words of the projectiles that are coming out of his gun. They're starting to make ground, and you can see that the payload is pushing through the under.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this Orisa and Zarya is going to be working out against a full dive. They're going to be forced back. At least they have a team that can provide some Lucio speed boost for these non-mobile tanks to get out of the way. Mainly just want to build as much ultimate as possible. Maybe work towards that Graviton. But Kristen's actually not even close. So it's going to be tough here. Mainly looking for a Adept with a Death Blossom, probably.
Yeah, and she's close to that too, 13% off. But you see Fat Chop, he has been spotted. He's trying to flank and get a good rocket punch from behind. That could be the death knell for one of these teams. And here comes Fat Chop. He's not able to find the shot though, so has to wait on the cooldowns. And they're chasing. This is going to be Sayumi, I believe. Yeah, just on this side, will get punished for it. And Bullywug even getting Ginger too. Can the rest of the kills? Is it going to be Adept though, saving the day? It could be the hero for Team Venus.
Still equal numbers left from both these sides.
Wow.
And now they still need to make it back to the payload that actually hasn't moved from Car Wash.
Oh.
Marla eats a pulse bomb. She's gonna go down. Also picks up a Keem that was close. As Sayumi, I believe, is the only support left. Is she even back? Here she is. She gets bubbled, able to save her team, but is close to the nano boost. Might want to give that as soon as she can to Adept. He's gonna be raining in bullets, but Fat Chop is gonna be chasing everybody away. And after all was said and done, Team Venus ignore the payload.
Yeah, UG Red brought the fight to them, and it just sometimes it's easy to forget where you have to contest.
Oh boy. I mean, Team Venus were definitely in a position that they could have defended the payload, but they were really trying to protect, I believe, some of their supports that were getting dove from Fat Chop. play of the game here goes to Scooty. Did she even use the self-destruct? No. Just pure left-click power.
That is right. And with that left-click power, we're tied up now 1-1 in our best of 5. We seem to have ourselves a match here. So we welcome back John to the desk.
Oh, so close.
Yeah.
It was so close. Wow. So, oh man, Lemon. I mean, who? You just typed in spectator. He goes, wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
I could not have said it better myself. Yeah, that was a very wow, 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 wow game. Although we are seeing now something that was pretty interesting. Scooty has really stepped up these last 2 matches on a Diva, 2 play of the games in a row, and not necessarily relying just on those Diva bombs to do it. Kiwi, how are they, or Lemon, sorry, how are they dealing, Lemon, Kiwi, it all makes sense. How are they going to deal with Scooty going forward? Because it's starting to become a problem for them, it seems.
Scooty, yeah, there's these well-placed self-destructs that I've highlighted before, and he's very able to smartly wait for Marla's bubble to go down and leave that self-destruct behind. So, it's kind of hard to deal with. I mean, I think they brought out the Bastion that kind of rained down through the Matrix, and Scooty's able to also effectively dive Ginger whenever he brings out the Deadeye, and even Ginger's getting heavily countered, even the Doomfist Meteor Strike when he's in the middle of Deadeye. So, UG Red are just able to coordinate all of their abilities when Venus have nothing to defend against it.
Mushu, do you think that UG Red have like a strategy in place to deal with Adept? Because that seems to be the difference from what I'm seeing between what we saw from UG Black last week and what we're seeing from UG Red here. Is there seems to be a very intense focus on making sure that they know where Adept is at all times.
Yeah, I believe attacking Adept is not just dealing with her on her own. It's dismantling the team around her. And that's kind of what we're seeing. Fat Chop and Rhino both combining. We know that they were very strong flank DPSs. And so if you can't take out Adept because of the great healing and peel that Adept has from her team, then take out the supports. And that's what we saw really come to fruition on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Saw Sayumi trying to run around and had the sleep dart for a diving Doomfist. That's a really great way to deal with the Doomfist. Of course, you have to land your shot. But when the whole team is coming after you and just focusing just that one hero, you're going to die. And it's going to be up to, now, will Team Venus figure out how to peel for their own team so that they can empower people like Adept and empower people like Ginger to do work? That's going to be the question.
So this is going to be interesting because, I mean, while the score was close, at the end of the day, Venus completed that map because of a back cap, right, on point B.
Yeah.
Besides that, I don't think that there was much of a chance that they would have fully completed that map there. They were already getting tore down by their spawn. So, Lemon, if you are Venus, it didn't look like it, but it wasn't a great round. What are you looking to do to bounce back here on 2CP?
I think you want to empower Ginger a little bit more. I feel like he's getting Ginger is the dude on the team. So he is getting heavily countered, surprisingly. He's playing this McCree, and the Doomfist is going after him. He goes on the Tracer, still Doomfist is going after him, and I don't think he's able to find a comfortable playstyle or a hero to be able to counter the other team. And he brought out the Deadeye, gets dough from Scooty. Brought out the Deadeye, he gets dough from the Doomfist. Tracer's harassing him, even with the stun. It's not enough to cancel out any of these characters. And I feel like Ginger, not by his fault, but UG Red are targeting him heavily. And then that kind of leaves Adept to kind of do a lot of this damage. She's been playing Reaper, so she's able to wraith out of these targeting situations. But the DPS are just kind of getting dismantled for Venus. So I think they need to sort of empower Ginger a little bit more to work with Adept, put some damage here into UG Red.
And Mushu, if you're Adept, we're going into Temple of Anubis right now. You're Adept. You're playing that kind of that carry DPS. Are we going to see the Tracer here? You think we're going to see a Pharah? Maybe even the Widowmaker? What are you thinking?
Well, they will be starting off on defense first. We're going to adjust our scoreboards, but there's a lot of different things that you can play. I think I'd still like to see Adept on a projectile hero, so we might see, again, a Pharah is still a possibility. Junkrat is a very, very good defensive hero here. So it's going to be up to what the rest of the team wants to play. And I think play to Adept and Ginger's strengths. Of course, we've seen Ginger for just 2 rounds here, as he is a sub for the team on Team Venus. And he had played well on both the Tracer and the Genji. So I think it's going to depend on what the team plays around, but we'll definitely expect a projectile DPS from somewhere on the team.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started on Temple of Anubis. We have just over 45 seconds left. Looks like you called it. We've got Adept hanging out on the Junkrat.
Hey.
Scooty on the Symmetra. I don't know if that's gonna stay, but I think we're getting trolled here with the Symmetra Torbjorn. But maybe it'll happen. Either way, casters, take it away.
Well, I think you called it, Mushu. Adept. I don't think Adept Rat fits as well as Jake Rat does, but we saw how crazy Adept can be with these rip tires too. And surprisingly, we're seeing Ginger on a tank, so they're going to be running this triple tank on defense. No mercy. Sayumi is going to be picking up this Mora, which I think has been expected in the future meta, that Mora is going to be coming out a lot more with the mercy nerf and with this triple or even quad tank that could be coming out soon.
Yeah, and you'll see No Mercy on their hero roster, and after being challenged and will lose that last map, feeling that they have to bring No Mercy here. Now the gloves are off. We're going to get back into it. Best of 3 now, as both teams have won one game. We see UG Red rotating around. Marla jumped in, but maybe didn't realize the rest of the team is also going to jump into them, as Adept is the first one to fall.
Oh, this is so bad. The tanks from Team Venus both chose to dive Rhino and left the rest of their team exposed from the dive from UG Red coming in. Now stepping on to the point. Actually, the response from Team Venus is quite strong.
They bounce back, and they were able to clean up the kills finally, but no, this kill now is going in the way of the attackers. It was just kind of that tipping point, that back and forth, but UG Red Scooty going to be falling backwards, but Adept with another, getting an early death on her part.
Yeah, Rhino's still at the back, picking away these players, and I think Team Venus are going to have to choose at least one person to deal with them. Either Genji or one of these tank characters. Bullhog pushing the rest of these reinforcements of the attack away, and Ginger finds the double kill. But still, Team Venus stay alive. No take has been earned quite yet from the offense, but this fight is just never ending.
Yeah, and Adept came back on the Tracer, deciding to, all right, 2 kills, I'm not going to make a third. And Sayumi there with a very clutch, the coalescence to be able to save the day, as it was just two supports in 1 tank. Ginger kept alive and well thanks to that ultimate.
Yeah, I think Team Venus did a better job of focusing on the actual or team fight that's in her face and worrying about Rhino later. There's only 60% for Rhino, so he's not getting insane amount of picks. Probably not able to find a target. And I think mainly we only saw a pick on Adept, who actually Adept is picking up the Tracer, which is usually what Ginger's role is. Hasn't been able to find much success onto the Reaper to start. Now this fight here is taking place on the payload. Meteor Strike comes down to zone out these players. Exile brings out the Transcendence. Primal Rages from both monkeys. Scooty self-destructs, zones out away from the defense, but finds Marla in the process.
Yeah, and you see Marla is going to go down, but the rest of the kills aren't falling fast enough for this attack. They have the advantage, and there you go. That's Adept going down first too, but the ultimates are coming out for the side of Team Venus. You see a self-destruct here very soon, as soon as Kristen gets back to the point, but will it be back in time? They've not gotten 1 tick yet. That's going to be Kristen coming back, and you can pretty much expect a self-destruct as she D-max. No, she's going to hold on to that as Marley's joined the fray as well. I don't know if they're going to try to contest this anymore, Lemon. They're losing a lot of numbers, and they're losing the capture percentage.
Yeah, no point of investing ultimates in a losing fight. All they wanted to do was just burn some more time, and effectively doing so. 1 minute and 10 remain to go to point B, and actually now adding on 4 minutes, so 5 minutes remain, which is plenty of time, of course, but it's still a solid defense from Team Venus, making, I think, extending that to 3 fights it took for them to get the full capture. And now this momentum is going all the way to point B, and Akeem switches to the Sombra, hacks the health pack, looking to build towards the EMP, but they lose Fat Chop and Exile early in this game, or early in this team fight. This offense is going to dismantle.
Marla's the only one that went as a kill for the side of UG Red, and Rhino trying to get away, but didn't even have the Wraithwalk available, so was not able to get out. A good pick there by Sayumi. Seeing these mobile supports doing a lot better at evading the kills. Fat Chop is going in, but not landing those rocket punches that we've seen him land so well in the past. And here comes the self-destruct. Kristen sending it out, is not able to find anyone, but it's still good for zoning everyone else out as Rhino comes in, but he's going to be on his own.
Oh, he's able to find also a pick onto Akeem. Still working towards the EMP, but now a sound barrier comes in for the offense, and they still have a Transcendence for even more life towards the end of this team fight. So this is looking very good for the offense. However, the EMP will temporarily cancel out anything else coming in. Also a Coalescence from the defense, but there's not really many members to enforce that on, mainly using as DPS. Marla brings out the Primal Rage extremely low, but bats away just temporarily some people off the point. Self-destruct also comes in for the offense, and this is looking good. They secure themselves 1 point.
One tick comes through, and Ginger is here on the Tracer and is cut down by Rhino, and even Rhino holding onto the Death Blossom in the back pocket, doesn't even have to use it. 2 ticks pass here, Lemon. It's going to be a third one, if not for Marla jumping in, but that's just delaying the inevitable. And Death trying to come in, back in, and throw it back in his face, but 3 minutes, 20 seconds the time left. UG Red finish on Anubis.
Wow, this was a very solid offensive composition that they brought in. The Reaper, mainly, I think, with the Death Blossom and everything, was not just wasn't dying. And I like the composition from the defense that came in from Team Venus. They had Akeem working towards the EMP, had the health pack, you know, limiting the amount of health that the offense can collect on the way there. But geez, the DPS from the offense were just unstoppable.
And it all happened so fast. We talked about how the supports for UG Red, or excuse me, the supports from Team Venus were staying alive well, but then you have these ultimates and these heroes that just do area of effect damage. You have the Death Blossom, you have Rhino on the Reaper. There's just not much you can do against that. Like, how long can you wall ride and stay alive when the whole team just does area of effect damage with a Winston and Reaper?
I just think maybe Ginger should have switched off the Tracer. I think there wasn't enough room for that Tracer to be effective, especially with a Reaper and a Winston in your face, sort of your main counters to a Tracer, and not being able to be as effective and getting picked. And the Coalescence, you know, it came out and wasn't able to kind of be as effective, let's say, as a Valkyrie that's more protected and safe into the skies. But with that, I think that we'll see Team Venus on the offense now, and it's going to be similar dive compositions, and they're going to give Ginger that role of the Widow.
And on the other side, I mean, it might be a old-fashioned Widow off. What better way to settle first point on Anubis than our very favorite, as the rest of the team is stacking on top of this very well-built little platform here. Look at that, supporting a lot of weight there. We'll be able to jump down and engage, and this is similar to Gibraltar. Teams tend to favor a high vantage point, and you can just jump into the offense onto exactly where you want instead of having to battle through like a front line if the team's bringing it. So let's see if Team Venus are ready for the surprise.
Well, they know Rhino's going to be probably playing that Widow since he brought it out on the last one. Gets picked right away, though. Look at this engagement here from Team Venus. They're already on the point. They need to stay on, and they can actually get the first tick. But Scooty actually has something to say about that. Fat Chop also joins the fight. But picks going in.
Huge.
Mainly, the defense lose their Mercy and the mech from their Diva. Wow, Team Venus are unstoppable right now.
Yeah, and the way that's supposed to work is you're supposed to surprise the team. You get some picks. What's not supposed to happen is the enemy Lucio goes off on offense, and they're going to take that and even faster. They will have another 4 minutes on top of this, have 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Lemon, this is looking pretty good for setting the time if they can carry the momentum through.
Yeah, it was a much faster point A cap than UG Red did, but it all matters, so they have to get point B as well. Actually, somebody steps into the payload. That's a bad cap coming in from a Adept, playing this Tracer role. It almost gets halfway through the tick, but mainly forces the disengagement here for the defense. But can they convert this into picks? They lose Marla in the process, and no Resurrects will be able to come in since they don't even have a Mercy. And so the offense is going to have to retreat here.
Trying to retreat, but still losing her mech. Kristen can be left to the mercy of the team. Not exile, just their will if they decide to leave Kristen out of her own mech. But this is kind of a tough spot. You want to carry the momentum through. They are making the switch. Ginger now onto the Junkrat. And so they're going to seem to take it slow as Kristen's still trying to charge it up to get that mech. But no, they send Adept in onto the point.
Another back cap, and also gets the pulse bomb onto Bullywug, but that resurrect is going to come through from Exile. Self-destruct here sent from Kristen. Who can it find? Mainly Exile. This is a great pick. They pair that with the Coalescence to sort of push their way onto the point. But Team Venus, Miss Marla, and Adept in this next fight. This is not going to be enough members to make anything happen.
Yeah, even regardless of the defender's advantage that you're going to see in the assault map on point B as Kristen tries to get away, but we'll lose our mech yet again. She just got it back. She just used it for 1 kill, but she'll be now staggered. And to see if they're going to give her the same treatment. Oh, just a little smash down from Fat Chop as it contributes towards his ultimate counter for the Meteor Strike. And now here, it seems they've stalled out Lemon. 5 minutes, 30 seconds. They still have 2 minutes to at least keep time with what UG Red were able to do.
Yeah, Kristen's gonna swap from the Diva onto the Zarya to see if we can build up towards a Graviton. Sayumi also from the Mora onto the Sombra, working towards the EMP, of course. But I believe this Riptire Graviton is gonna be the combination that Team Venus need to get this point. They're gonna start here with a Sound Barrier, or actually no, it's the defense, but also the offense bring out a Sound Barrier. That's a Death Blossom on the field, and Scooty picks off Adept right in the middle of that.
Yeah, this is going to be another defense that is aggressive from UG Red. We've seen it punished before because Adept was on the Tracer, but now on the Reaper, this is more of a death ball, really, that Team Venus is bringing. Not able to get it there quite yet. They're going to try it again, though. This Lucio at least getting them in quickly, and they can take a team off guard, even if they do see them coming in. But Marla's found the back line, trying to get the kill onto the Mercy. She's able to Valkyrie away, but Marla has the Primal Rage as well, and waiting in the wings, waiting to use this here, but the kills are falling faster than Marla can do any damage.
Yeah, at least a Riptire kill is found from Team Venus, because the defense sustains again with this fight and burns 2 minutes off the clock. But I like the switch from Adept from the Tracer to the Reaper. It was a smart, back tap, forcing the disengagement for the defense. But this Reaper, I think, is going to be able to deal more damage. They have all the damage dealers they need now. But Ginger actually switches from the Junkrat to now the Tracer. So a lot of different strategies coming out from Team Venus. But at least they have the Graviton going into this next fight.
They have the Graviton, but they won't have the Death Blossom because Adept used the ultimate and then dumped that hero. Their relationship was just not working out. It's you, not me. I mean, it's me, not you, as there's going to be Fat Chop dumping into the back line again. How many Meteor Strike kills have we seen? And unfortunately, Kristen, the one to fall fate to it this time.
Oh, both tanks are down here for Team Venus, and actually Adept switches on to the Diva, so going for this full tank, but unfortunately it's not going to be working out. So I think that since she's more comfortable onto the Reaper, this might be her better pick. They just need to find an open opportunity to get onto the point. But with their tanks falling so early in the fight, it's going to be very difficult from Team Venus. Again, having to deal with not only Fat Chop, but now they have to deal with the Reaper close range. So they can effectively deal with this distance, or maybe take this fight at a distance. This could be a good counter towards the defense.
But the defense do have a counter. They have a way to get in there, and they have this Tom barrier ready to go. But Fat Chop doesn't even seem to need it. The EMP comes through, and this is going to be the defense. They're now caught without it. They're caught inside, and this could be the big combination. Oh, boom! That's Adept with 5 kills.
Happy New Year, but Ryder comes in with a birthday party of his own, but it's going to be only a two-man party onto the point. But this maybe... Oh, they get to 2 ticks. Team Venus get all the ultimates paired up together, and that was a nice Graviton self-destruct, and Rhino gets back to the point just on time to prevent the 3rd tick from going in. But plenty of time here. 2 minutes and 17 remain.
Oh man, just what a combo there, but they were not there to finish it. Rhino comes in with the Death Blossom to just counter all of that action. Kristen with the perfect combination with the rest of the team, and this now using Sound Barrier. They didn't use it last fight because they didn't need it. And the self-destruct now is going to be zoning out everybody from the attack, but they jumped right into the point. This is everyone who's blue. They're on the attack, and they're feeling blue because they're so close to capturing that 3rd point. That 3rd tick is within reach, Lemon, but I don't know if they can do it.
Another back cap coming in from Ginger at least starts the train going here from Team Venus, but actually it's Fat Chop who's just eliminating everybody here on your kill feed. So many ultimates still left. Rhino even still has the Death Blossom. Not probably going to use it in this fight since it's already won for UG Red. But Team Venus only have 1.5 minutes. They can't burn any more time on the clock. But you can see Kristen is trying to get away with her life. She's able help them do so. So many swaps coming in. I feel like every Overwatch hero has been played so far. And ooh, that stall pick onto Sayumi.
Yeah, and that was because of the uppercut from the Doomfist. Fat Chop just hitting up Marl off the point, but here comes out on the backside. Ginger trying to go for the back hack again, but dealt with swiftly from Rhino. Those shotguns, you do not want to take that 1v1.
When the Deb just wants to die so she can
Please, have mercy.
kill me now. 1 minute remain though. This offensive team have a Coalescence and a Whole Hog, but so everybody is pretty much close to their ultimates. Self-destruct, everything on the board. But this defense, they have Rhino's Death Blossom just waiting for them to step onto the point. They're going to invest this early Valkyrie, go for any more resurrects and extra healing at the end. Fat Chop starts this initiation of the fight onto a pick onto one of the supports, who I believe, just used the sound barrier there, but Fat Chop is on a rampage.
Oh! That was the craziest placement for the self-destruct. It just goes inside of the bubble, and now it's going to be the defense. They're getting more of the kills, but they need them faster here. They have the numbers onto the point. Now everyone's starting to reinforce. This could be Team Venus starting to take it, but it's going to be Hakeem going down, and they have to watch out for Rhino's Death Blossom. They're zoned off the point, and now they're just going to be scattered here. Ginger has to go back to the health pack, and overtime's going to be ticking down.
No more sustainers left for Team Venus. Maybe the last push from Tracer. Ginger restarts the overtime, but no one is even close. After 7 minutes of play, Team Venus swapped to every Overwatch hero in availability, and every ultimate almost on the board was, I feel like, was used, and they could not get to the third tick. Just one more tick, and we could have been into extra innings, but UG Red walk away with their third consecutive map.
UG Red now up 2-1 in the match series. We're going to see them play a game, a consolation prize.
2-1 now?
Yeah, it's 2-1. It's 2-1.
I did miss.
There you go. So, reviewing the map score, Team Venus taking Lijiang Tower 2-1 in the beginning. Then UG Red will win the next two maps, Watchpoint Gibraltar and Temple of Anubis. Now, John, my goodness, what a defense. 7 minutes. What a hold.
Fat Chop, Fat Chop, Fat Chop. Yeah, I mean, right now, Team Venus has not found a way to adapt to Fat Chop's Doomfist. That's really what it seems to be looking at. I mean, is there anything that they can do, Lemon, or are they just getting outskilled and outplayed here?
They're trying different strategies. I'm starting to think it's UG Red are just vastly, I don't want to say superior, but just Venus have brought everything out of the toolbox. Graviton Self-Destruct was the main composition that got them, or the main combination that got them to 2 ticks. They brought out Reaper, Ginger. They even had Ginger and Adept swap roles of Tracer and Reaper, and everything was brought out. I'm starting to think, I don't know what Venus need to move forward here.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more apparent that, well, I mean, they got the 4 kill, right? They got the 4 kill on the Diva self-destruct, and that was going to be the time. And what happened there, Mushu? Like, how do you go from killing 4 people on defense to not being able to, capitalize and even take a tick off of that?
Well, they use everything to get those 4 kills, and then one ultimate undoes it. And what better than a Death Blossom, because they're already grouped up to deal damage on the Graviton Surge to follow up. But at least, I mean, we're going to get a really epic Twitch clip out of that. So, I mean, it may not be the most worth thing, but definitely Kristen can tweet that out and be like, yo, check out my team. We got the coordination. You don't have to know that it was a loss on Temple Anubis, but still, I mean, it could be the match win for them. They just got to now win the next 2 maps, bring it to Game 5 first by winning Game 4, which is going to be a hybrid map.
Yeah, we don't quite know yet which map we're going to, but hybrid, this will be the first time we go to hybrid, and then we go to control at the very end. If you are Team Venus right now, which map do you think that you've got the best chance on, Lemon? What did they did Nimani last time, I believe, correct?
Oh, my memory escapes me of how that last
I think it
series
was.
went.
I think it was.
And that's what they're
interesting
choosing
you say
again.
that.
So,
Oh, Nambani, well, we got a crystal ball here able to predict what everything is going on. Swear this is not pre-recorded.
Just
but
research.
it's just all these maps are really, really close. I think it's coming down to these sort of singular plays that either make or break the win, just like the back cap from Team Venus that got them through to Gibraltar, although it didn't result in a win, but it resulted in, the second point. Then you saw the combination of the Graviton and the self-destruct from Team Venus that got them to 2 ticks. So they just need the right combination. I think it's coming down to these last couple plays. But we do go into Numbani where it is. I apologize, 2-1 for UG Red. I missed the Lijiang Tower apparently, but they do have a lot of. If it does go to Game 5, I mean, Team Venus at least showed their strides on control maps.
So we're going into Numbani right now, and the question that I have for you, Mushu, is if we assume that Fat Chop stays on this Doomfist until Venus proves that they can deal with it. If you're Venus, how do you deal with it? What are you gonna do?
I mean, how many times have you seen teams have to play against a Doomfist and formulate a strategy against it? There's a lot of ways you can do it, but we haven't seen a very tried and true strategy deal with it. And I think it's going to be about a team that is mobile, is hyper mobile, can turn on once they identify where the Doomfist is, immediately turn, find him, hunt him down, and assassinate him before Doomfist can wreak any more havoc onto your backline. And so for Team Venus, it's going to be about, are they going to be comfortable in Tithe? Because I think a Death Ball is not going to work. We saw even one of the kills on the Sayumi on the approach between point A and B was because as the Doomfist was lifted up the Reinhardt, so the Reinhardt shield wasn't on the ground anymore. And then Sayumi is completely exposed to the self-destruct. So these are the kind of things of how a Doomfist will take apart a Death Ball. So they're probably going to have to work around Dive if they want to address against that specifically.
All right, well, we're about 30 minutes away here. UG Red leads 2 maps to 1. So let's go ahead, get into map number 4 on Numbani. Casters, take it away.
Well, you guessed it, Mushu. Fat Chop's gonna have the Doomfist again, and exactly the perfect map for him again. On any of these top hallways, he's able to punch out any of the offense from Team Venus coming in. And we've talked about all these different ways they can counter Fat Chop. They brought out everything from McCree's to Pharah's to Zarya's to add extra shields to these punched out characters. But Team Venus will start Adept with the Pharah and full dive. And surprisingly, we haven't seen Ginger play Genji yet, but I'm excited to see how he'll perform.
Yeah, we haven't seen him play it for a while, and you have to stretch back in your memory all the way back to Lijiang Tower. It's a little glimmer of Ginger on the Genji, and Fat Chop defending the upper ground, but this might be just a rough spot for Fat Chop to be using that hero, because it's about, you want to use finding your walls, and this is not a place that has the walls. And even Adept finding the rocket, this might be now the opportunity Venus needs. If they can get a good pick here, and they can just get it going off to a rolling start for Team Venus.
Well, they do miss Marlon this fight, but this is already 1 tick on the board. And they're just chasing out the final cleanup kills, but Adept already almost at the barrage after all is said and done. And Kristen getting that self-destruct within the first team fight, looking good. Quick capture here on Numbani. They're going to be pushing their payload and the momentum forward here into the streets phase, where no switch is coming in from the defense. But now they have to deal with Adept, and Adept really wants to keep that distance between her and Fat Chop.
And look at this, Kristen going right in, and Fat Chop is going to fall here. That the healing from Banana Bolts was not enough to deal with it. And to self-destruct, put in so far ahead, and they've got the rocket barrage. Are you kidding me? They're just pushing them all the way back. This is point B. You need to push the payload first, but they're making so much room to allow them to do so.
Oh, Rhino somehow got through enemy lines.
Oh no.
Akeem wins the frag against the soldier. Why? How does that happen? Not sure, but Akeem gets his Lucio play of the game medal there. But yeah, after all was said and done, they had so much momentum in street phase, and that whole time Rhino was contesting the payload. But now it's moving. Now we're getting somewhere. But the defense now have to reestablish themselves here.
It's just in shambles on round point B on that upper ground. You see all the rockets just blowing away everything, and now they're trying to engage. They need to use a support ultimate just to get in, but it is enough. Ginger will fall to Rhino, so this might be the start that they need. And even Rhino bringing in the tactical visor, this is going to be really good for picking off anyone in the air, and they have to scatter off the point. Finally, they have to use 3 ultimates to do it, but UG Red finally stopping the point.
Wow, the meteor strike coming from the sky actually picks off the Pharah. And also, I like this pick from Rhino to go onto the soldier as an extra hit scan or an extra option to deal with the depth into the skies. But now a reset comes in from Team Venus after being wiped off the payload. But here comes Ginger with the Dragon Blade. He's going to zoom past these tanks. Wants to do as much damage as possible, mainly finding a pick onto Mercy. As Scooty brings out the self-destruct, gets quickly bubbled from Marla. Now they're making their way to the payload. But the defense are falling.
I mean, look how aggressively they had to set up. They just wanted to stall it further away, and now Venus only now pushing the point. So it might have been worth it here as they're starting to stabilize. If numbers are even as gone trades both ways. They have to use the sound barrier just to keep everyone alive, but it looks like Adept finally in her comfort zone. This is a nice high skybox, and so, you know, Adept finally in her natural habitat.
Well, almost so close to the capture point here. Another stall comes in from Fatchop on this Doomfist, gonna be joined from this Tracer from Rhino. So Rhino going from the Soldier to the Tracer now. Self-destruct left from Kristen to stop these reinforcements. Now they just have to deal with Bullywug and this Tracer. Rhino's gonna lose his tank, and he's gonna get picked trying to retreat. This payload's gonna be captured, and the momentum here from Team Venus pushes forward. Goes for more picks here.
You see how far out Marla was just pressuring, and no one was able to get past her. And you saw Exile trying to get by the bubble, but it wasn't going to be enough. And finally, the rest of the team regrouping. 4 minutes left to go. They have the momentum on their side. And look at this. They have the Meteor Strike for the side of UG Red, but a really well-placed Dragon Blade or this Rocket Barrage, it's going to do a lot of work.
Yeah, so you can see that Doomfist Fatchop was trying to go onto the high ground, see if he can punch Adept out of the sky, but she has the barrage ready. Scooty absorbs most of it and exchanges his mech in the process. Kristen's gonna get Pulse Bomb, and she gets demeched as well, so equal exchanges from both these sides, but the offense is not over yet. But now making a little bit of distance, you have to worry about where Fatchop is gonna be raining this fist from. It's gonna be just actually joining his teammate, Winston friend. Gets back to the spawn, but now wants to contest the payload one more time. Ginger's still alive, but now has no teammates by his side. Adept joins the party. We get dove here from Scooty, but Team Venus need to realize that they don't have the numbers here. Have to go for the full reset.
And that's pretty tough, because if you look at the ultimate economy, it's all in the favor of UG Red. As long as they don't get picked off here, they won't have anyone really to any pain in terms of having to fight back, and Adept is going to switch back onto the Reaper. They want to deal with Rhino, so this has kind of been the answer for that, and also pretty good against Fatchop too. But no, Banana Boats is trying to use a sound barrier and gets taken out beforehand. This could be the return, the reply that Team Venus needs.
Well, both Winstons go down, but Marleg is the one that gets resurrected. They use the sound barrier here, and now they're pushing on forward, forcing the defense of Exile to use the Transcendence, and now it's going to be the defense pushing back Team Venus into the spawn. And mainly, so many ultimates being used or available for Team Venus, and that's Ginger with the Dragon Blade coming out.
Yeah, and he takes out Exile, who's on the point, but then dashes back to join the rest of the team. Wasn't the most optimal situation because he clears the point and could have pushed it there. Don't know if he should have come back for the rest of the team, but it might have been the right call. We'll have to see how it plays out. Ginger using the shurikens and able to take him out. And you see, this is one of the problems with a really aggressive defense. Venus might be able to come back and get a lot of points and just cause the defense to trickle out.
Even Sayumi finds her way onto the kill feed, and in that 6v3, Team Venus were at the disadvantage, but were able to punish this overextension from the defense. Now trying to bring this payload home. They have no ultimates except Kristen's self-destruct, waiting for this bubble from Bullywug to go down, and this would be perfect to zone out the rest of the defense. She's gonna send it in, doesn't get bubbled, doesn't find anyone, but Fatchop picks off Kristen before she can get back in the mech.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. The meter strike was really good to snipe her down, and what was looking so good for the attack, they all scatter. The self-destruct not able to zone out the defense in a way because they're able to get to cover. So we'll be Team Venus resetting, making some changes yet again. So Yumi now, instead of No Mercy anymore, onto her signature Zenyatta.
I think Kristen's self-destruct was sent out a little bit too far to be effective. The fight was way before the payload, and self-destruct was sent, close to the spawn doors, which is good for reinforcements, but they really needed to just distance this Fat Chop character away from the rest of her teammates.
Oh, boy.
Fat Chop again, an early pick onto the DPS. Wonder if this is going to be resurrected here. Actually, no, they don't have a Mercy, so no resurrects available here. Death Blossom's going to be engaged here from Adept, but gets quickly picked off before it can be effective. So 45 seconds remain. Team Venus have a chance at one last team fight.
And they got to wait even longer for Marla. Rhino will get taken out though. See, Kristen just standing there while the enemies was getting taken out, but the sound barrier is going to engage on the upper ground. Don't know if that was really the most optimal time. This could come back to bite UG Red in the butt, but as long as they can get the kills, then it won't really matter. Here comes the Dragon Blade.
Oh, Dragon Blade paired up with the sound barrier, now cutting away the rest of these tanks. Self-destruct late hit from the defense and doesn't actually catch anyone. Now they're making their way to the payload.
Oh, wow.
Should be able to make some distance here. Just have to deal with Rhino, super low health. They take him out. Now the defense have one last push. We're in overtime in just a few more seconds. Mainly looking at a sustain from a Primal Rage or Bullywug or Marla to duke it out, while Fat Chop is going to have a second chance at life with the Meteor Strike. Transcendence comes out from the defense. It's going to extend this fight for them, but a very important DMEC happens onto Kristen. Rhino goes off as well. This is looking good for the defense. Team Venus don't have the sustain.
Yeah, but this is going to be just a lot going their way. They had the Primal Rage and the Pulse Bomb. He's able to find Banana Boats, one of the most critical people. And Fat Chop, who died early in the fight, is going to come back in. The Meteor Strike to try to save the day. Ginger will go down, and Marla leaves the point for a little bit too long. The overtime wick burns so fast the longer it goes, but a good push nonetheless. UG Red pretty much have to finish the map.
Wow, that last team fight just came down to the wire. Team Venus had everything going for them, all the kills to at least make it to the payload. Even dealing with Rhino for an extra stall at the end. So even the next fight, they didn't even have defense didn't have their second DPS ready, but they had everything to just extend the fight. They had the Primal Rage going on from Bullywug. They had a Meteor Strike from Fat Chop going in. They had even a Transcendence from Exile that started out the fight. They had so much sustain to just last out the fight longer than Team Venus did to ultimately win that one.
And Fat Chop with another kill from the Meteor Strike. These are all making their mark. And what you see kind of happening is the most effective ones is when Fat Chop is already in the fray. You try to focus him down, and it's almost like, honestly, it reminds me of Azonius. I'm bringing in some lore from another game of League of Legends, is where you're just invulnerable for that time being. But then you can just come right back into the action once you get your cooldowns back. And that's exactly what Fat Chop is doing, using the Meteor Strike in a point when he's deep into the fray and deep into the fight, and it comes down so fast when you're basically calling it down in the exact same place where you are.
Well, UG Red are going to have the task of first capturing the point, which can sometimes be the most difficult part of Numbani. But take a look at this defensive setup here from Team Venus. They got Marla again on this Orisa, which we've seen back on Gibraltar. And instead of Kristen on the Zarya, which they had that combination before, she can be on the D.Va. So an interesting mobile and not mobile defense, and not really a Lucio to help Marla get out of a dive situation. But at least Adept is there on the Junkrat as sort of an anti-dive DPS character that should be able to defend Marla if people get a little bit too close.
And that might be the answer, having a trap and trapping Fat Chop so he can't use any of his mobile abilities. I'm likely going to see him dash onto this upper ground if they decide to do so and decide to be aggressive. So if Fat Chop can get around that trap, then it might be a really tough time for Venus to deal with him.
Well, the offense are just going to move forward, and they're initially going to dive Marla as soon as they have sights set on her. She's going to be half health, gets onto the point, and just like that gets picked before anything can happen. But the offense do lose their Mercy and lose a lot more than what Marla just lost. And this is looking good for Team Venus to hold on to this defense.
Yeah, Marla is just always having to sacrifice herself, looking a little bit like Fraggy in the Philadelphia Fusion's compositions, because Fraggy's always dying in the fight, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is in a tough spot for the team as a whole, because the sacrifice was worth it.
Yeah, kind of acting as bait. I mean, it was a nice dive from UG Red, go right after Marla, targeted her, got the initial pick, but the follow-up that came in from Adept and Sayumi and the rest of the team is amazing. Now the exact same dive is going to go in. However, Adept finds Fat Chop, and a second Riptire comes in to find Bullywug. So no really a tank and a DPS missing for the offense. But now they're losing everything.
Yep, and I mean, we don't often see a Riptar in the second fight. Usually it's up for like a meatball composition. What do we started to call the quad tank? We need to come up with a good name, so I kind of like meatball. I don't know what your thoughts are. Better than Slambulance, which the OWL has been using.
Dude, I love Slambulance.
You like Slambulance?
Hilarious.
Wrong.
John, what is Slambulance? Yay or nay?
Slambulance.
Oh, okay.
100%.
All right, we're gonna have to return to this one because we're already into the battle. And Fat Chop, he would have something else to say about it too. We'll have to get his input, but for now, just trying to stay alive with the rest of the team. Kristen with another self-destruct, taking out Exile here. The wind out of the sails. UG Red seem to have figured out the recipe to take down Doomfist.
This recipe of anti-dive's working perfectly for Team Venus. They got Adept who hides behind Marla and just rains any grenades as soon as this Doomfist comes close, and Ginger's able to dance around these tanks and demech them and deal with them easily. And then even Kristen brings out the Matrix to just soak up some of this damage. This is the perfect defense for Team Venus. They've ate up so much time on the clock now, 1.5 minutes remain. But at least UG Red going to this next fight here with a lot of ultimates.
Yeah, they draw out the Transcendence, though, but before the fight even starts, so this might be the opening now. UG Red, Fat Chop is going to bring out... No, he gets canceled out of the Meteor Strike? Are you kidding me? What? I don't even know what happened there, even that it was possible, but it is scattered now, and you can see UG Red pushing onto the point. The kills are starting to fall their way, but not before Ginger has something to say about it. A Pulse Bomb onto the Mercy, and even Scooty with a double kill. Looking pretty good here for UG Red.
Great play self-destruct to stop any reinforcements, and yeah, I saw that Fat Chop Meteor Strike, and that was a great counter to the setup that the defense had. They just rained down on Marla and anybody that was hiding behind her and forcing them to miss position, and then the follow-up after that, and a great self-destruct from Scooty, as I mentioned. Finally, the payload can move from spawn, but 3 minutes remain.
And they finally set up, they push back that early pressure that offenses like to do after point A here, Lemon. And so now getting set up, Marla has the shield, and so this might be a little bit tough to break. We'll see if they can use it. Oh, the self-destruct, here it goes. It's pushing out past, but just goes right in front of that divider in the door that is impenetrable to Diva Bombs. And so Ginger and their crew see what they can do to hold it off.
Yeah, Marla is really pushed up as the Barista there, and is going to eat some of this. Was getting dove there from Fat Chop, and as being as non-mobile as she is going to quickly go down. So I hope that Marla is at least going to set up with a little bit more distance. I mean, she's a ranged tank, so try and take advantage of that distance. And maybe on defense, it's not the strongest tank you'd want to use, especially when you got Kristen on this Diva. So Adept now switching from or to the Soldier. See if they can take advantage of this distance between the two teams. And mainly, Scooty has his self-destruct already ready. And Rhino with the pulse bomb.
Weapon system optimized.
Just a lot of action happening already, and even the pick onto Ginger is not very good. And Rhino sneaking into the back, has the pulse bomb, doesn't even need to use it at this moment, but they draw out all the defensive ultimates from the side of the defense here and trying to get the stick onto her. Not going to quite work yet, but they're pushing very strongly here towards point B, and that's going to be Kristen falling as well.
Yeah, this is a complete wipe for UG Red. They're able to push this payload. Oh, just have to deal with one last little tracer. There you go, and they secure it. And they're able to completely ignore Marla and just kill everything around her and then go for her after. So finally Marla switches to the Roadhog, knowing that she's not able to do enough damage and not able to protect with the shield since everyone's going past her shield anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So now I'm not sure if she wants to go with the Roadhog, but maybe this shield could be more effective in this final phase. They send a self-destruct from Kristen, but no one's really going to be home. Actually, somehow Exile was hiding around that corner.
Yeah, but Fat Chop doing a lot of work, is able to take out Exile, or able to take out the supports of Team Venus, but it wasn't enough. But you can see the combination of possibility of what Doomfist is able to do. You get in there, you land a rocket punch, you hit him up in the sky, shoot him a couple times, and then you use your Meteor Strike. That is a very deadly combination, but fortunately for Team Venus, they're able to take care of the rest of the team, and the Fat Chop had to pull back.
Yeah, so this Orisa is going to be pretty good for this final phase if she's able to stay set up. Her getting reset up is going to be extremely difficult, and all really Fat Chop has to do is Meteor Strike Marla, and that'll be just a huge screw up there, a screw up of positionings. As the offense are looking good, they're getting the picks they need. still have to deal with the tanks of Marla and Kristen, but they have the self-destruct that doesn't get bubbled from Adept, and she gets picked in the process for it.
Yeah, and look at this, though. The kills are all following the way of the attack. And this thanks to that self-destruct pick and a little bit sloppy play here. Team Venus, they used both the support ultimates on the last fight, so they were left with nothing there. They're having to charge it back up, but they're not close to either of them. All 30% apiece for Team Venus. They have to try to find a way to stop it without any increased health pool.
Well, this is a very interesting scenario of Adept on this Winston. That's Marla's, like, prime Winston pick, but she brings out the Primal Rage, batting everybody away. Unfortunately, Kristen gets DMAC, leaves the self-destruct behind, and still finds Rhino, who's trying to contest the payload. So they go into this with a few less DPS, including not a Mercy. 55 seconds remain, so UG Red can still go for the full reset. You see Team Venus are chasing a few kills, trying to go for the punish, but one last team fight. This will be the last one, Mushu.
Yeah,
I think UG Red can do it.
Oh man, this is gonna be tough for UG Red. I mean, they have both support ultimates to push into it, but like you said, this is the last fight. That was their opportunity. Team Venus didn't have the ultimates to go at it, and so I mean, now it's going to be UG Red with all the pressure on them as they try to push it in and prevent a game 5, but Banana Bolts is going to start it off pretty well. Ginger was just caught flanking a little bit too hard, and the self-destruct might be the answer here as soon as this Transcendence goes down.
Well, here's the self-destruct that you talked about, but at least it zones off these players. Marla's able to, I believe, get a shield out of it, as Adept able to get back with just like 1 HP left, but Bullywug is there at the back and gets the final kill, as we're going to be heading into overtime shortly. Kristen sends a self-destruct, but at least gets her mech back in the process, but she's the only one remaining here for Team Venus. I believe, or actually no, there's Akeem at the back as the more and the reinforcements come in for Team Venus, as now it's going to be a battle of sustain between these two teams.
Yeah, but now the defender's advantage should be able to take effect. So the longer the spike goes on, the longer it will favor the defense. But Rhino's able to really get those kills. And here comes Fat Chop with the fat smashes of the fist against it. But the Primal Rage, Adept has this here. And it's going to be able to boot people off of the point. How long can she stay alive, though? She has to buy time for her team to get back to the point. Lemon, this is absolutely crazy.
Oh my god, yes. It's a great Primal Rage to just buy her team a little bit more time, but Fat Chop was there into the back, stopping the reinforcements from coming in.
Oh no.
But after all is said and done, not enough time was bought. UG Red are about to bring the payload home, but one last call comes in from Sayumi on the Lucio, and Kristen by her side. It's only a few remaining members of Team Venus. Not even a self-destruct, but Akeem maybe has the coalescence. Should be able to bring that out and maybe heal some of these tanks to buy, again, more time, but in overtime, this is going to be looking good for UG Red.
Yeah, and you look, they have everyone on the point because of all this healers being able to stay alive, and it is thinned out. Team Venus are left to their last heroes, but it should be UG Red getting into this golden box of victory.
What a match. It's just the longest team fight ever at the end, and like we already highlighted, UG Red had the sustain, and Marla's Primal Rage really bought a lot of time, but just they weren't able to get the picks to have a solid defense at the very end.
UG Red avenge their fallen brethren in Ungentleman Black, and they will take Numbani 3-2. Not able to do the double team kill for Ungentleman on behalf of Team Venus, but still, what a match. We'll be bringing back again, John. What a series we had here between this, and it seems to be the revenge is served.
Revenge is served.
I don't know if that's the... is that...
No, I mean, it's 3-1, right? I caught that right. Gentleman Red takes this 3-1. We're going to go... Are we going into a fifth map? Doesn't look like it.
I don't think so. I think some of these
Venus
members have called it a match.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have we have a little bit of a bonus here. I think we're getting an interview with our winners, so we'll go ahead and ping them and see what hop into the channel. But until then, John, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really interesting one. Again, another time where we actually saw, it looks like, at least to me, that Venus was able to best deal with Doomfist from I keep on saying PogChamp, but that's not it.
Fat Chop.
Fat Chop.
Fat Chop.
PogChamp, I love it.
Also my nickname in high school. Anyways, so they were... Ooh,
hey.
Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Hey.
You're good.
Dude, I surprised you. I'm sorry.
Come on. I mean, I'm startled a little bit. Startled. I'm trying to get back. We've got Scooty, who honestly I was gonna say is like my MVP choice here.
Oh,
Because,
man.
You're just saying that
because he's right here, right now.
Yeah, you have to
It's
right
just
now.
good luck
That's-
here, right?
Or he's gonna self-destruct in your face. Yeah, you get
exactly.
blown to bits.
Oh my god.
Well, and here's the thing. So, like, all jokes aside, like Scooty, I was just gonna make a point about Scooty is that he played so well in between the self-destructs, which is so important as Diva, and I don't think enough people get enough credit for that, which is why I really enjoyed. Suck at the spectator client, so I just like sit on whoever I think is the most interesting to watch, and I'm just sitting on Scooty, like, yeah, this is fun. This is good Overwatch. So, hey, man, congrats on the win.
Thank
You
you, thank you.
avenged your fallen brethren from last week.
Yes, we did.
You did. So, I mean, what can you tell us about your strategy going into this match?
Our strategy. Yeah, so as you guys know, we play a lot of dive.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of our strategy, I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
we almost
Only
completely
death.
run dive. Basically, we suck at death ball. So our strategy is we always go in with on the dive mindset. We're like, we're gonna try to take these fights fast, but we're looking for like free targets. We'll say like we have targets like McCree, Zenyatta, Mercy, targets like that. We're just like those are free, and whenever they play that, we try to dive those fast if we see them. We try to look for whenever they're out of position, and then we kind of just we try to snowball the fight from there. That's that's
Yeah.
kind of how we take most of our fights, I would say.
Something too that's really interesting is you guys have Fat Chop, who
Yes.
is just Doomfist
Inner hydration
nonstop.
coming out.
Yeah, like so. I mean, I would say that running 100% Doomfist is not exactly
Ideal.
meta.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what's the strategy behind that? Is he just so good at Doomfist that it's
Yeah.
the case, or just really difficult to counter?
Yeah. So the funny thing with him is like, I don't want to like speak for him. So originally, we had him playing Genji for us, and then he kind of just started getting this like knack for Doomfist.
Yeah,
It's basically what happened.
it really
And
showed.
then we ended up just like integrating that into our comp because we realized like that's something that we could use with our playstyle, and with just like how aggressive we want to be. We found that the Doomfist can actually be really powerful for us and helped us dealt with a lot of like I guess you could say issues that we have. So in a weird way, it's like off meta, very off meta, but it ends up working out really well for us. It's definitely strange though.
It was fun to watch though.
Yeah, it was
and
very
I mean,
fun.
kudos and congratulations to you guys. I don't know, Mushu, Lemon, if you guys have any questions for Scooty.
I
Otherwise,
think-
I can keep them coming.
Yeah, is it okay? I think Rhino wants to drop in.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's have
Yeah.
anyone that wants to
Yeah.
Anyone
jump
who
in from
wants
the
to?
team. Yeah, you can
Alright,
invite them.
yeah.
We can have a
There's gonna be
party.
a
We can
party
party in
in
voice
here.
chat. Because I know that for you guys, we've had you on for this is probably either the fourth or fifth broadcast we've done with UG Red
Yeah,
for
no,
our Scrim nights, and so I think we really enjoyed the games that you guys all bring. That you're not afraid to show your strategies for some fun here. So
Oh god,
Yeah.
everyone is in
Oh.
Yeah, the whole team hopped over. I guess.
Hey,
we got the-
And
we got
Freeze
the-
for some reason.
we got the whole team. We got the whole team in here. Okay, so just to remind everyone, we have Insomnia Koala. Who were you in game? Was that?
Oh, I'm Bullywug.
Okay, Bullywug.
Oh.
Cool. So we have OP Freeze, who was doing a really great job from the bench. And I'm sorry to say that. All right, but Rhino and of course Scooty here as well. Thank you guys all for joining. And Exile, I see you as well. Banana Bolts. There we go. Yeah, the whole team's here.
And then half is Fat Shop. So yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
guess I'll start
great.
with the first question. Well,
Yeah,
it
you
was
can
3-1,
pose it to them.
obviously.
Yeah.
So Lijiang Tower, you guys dropped that map to Venus. Could you guys tell us maybe what was not working, or why do you guys think that you dropped that map?
Okay, I got this one. So, we suck at Lijiang Tower. And I'm not gonna say that we suck at. I'm not gonna say that we suck at Lijiang Tower. We suck at the inside map. We literally could never win.
Yeah, we
Up until
can't.
today, we'd win like the other two
That was our
maps
first win on Control
pretty
Center.
much just fine. But we literally could not win that inside map. But today we won the inside map and not the other two. So I don't know. It was kind of weird to us.
we try to run Death Ball on it, and then it never works for us when we try to, because we just can't run the Reinhardt comp very well for some reason. So we end up just like we're like, well, we're gonna dive, like that's all we know how to do apparently. So we just try to go like main and dive, and then it ended up working really well today for some reason.
Honestly, I think our big problem with Lijiang Tower is it's really hard to push them back into their spawn, and any map where we can't walk into enemy spawn, we're pretty bad at.
Okay.
It's just like there's so much. It's the choke points is what does it.
Yeah.
It sort of limits where you can push up or apply pressure or whatever.
Yeah, and I've got to take some personal responsibility on night market. I was feeding. I hadn't adjusted to playing into the Reaper at that point, so I was getting picked off a lot before team fights, just taking a lot of face damage.
Yeah,
As
we
Winston.
struggle a lot with Reaper comps for sure.
So Bullywug, that was you, right? I know you were playing the Winston on Night Market, right? Or was it?
Yeah, Winston.
Okay.
I think every map we played today.
Yeah, right.
I think
We
one
run
of
the same comp on every map.
I guess so. Yeah, one of the interesting things that we saw was that Team Venus had to adjust to the immense amount of dive and the process of your flanking. And so I think the Reaper was probably one of those answers to it. You guys stuck with the same comp though. So what were you talking through as you saw the Reaper pick come out?
Right.
It was pretty much-
Yeah, right.
We struggled with when we should prioritize the Reaper.
Yeah.
Well, like for instance, there was at one point I literally was like screaming to kill the Mercy when the other half of the team was screaming to kill the Reaper.
Oh,
we just
interesting.
couldn't coordinate each other on that target. And I think either one of those targets would have been fine, but we just had a tough time getting on the same target.
There was a time when we were sorry to cut you.
You're
You
fine.
good? No, I was gonna say there's a time when we were we're trying to call targets. We do it pretty dynamically, and so there's a lot of people who will call, and then we'll just try to synchronize the calls. So
Okay.
there was a time when like Rhino called a different target besides the Reaper, and Reaper had just done like went at a Wraith for him, and I said he tried to call something else, and I said no, we're staying Reaper.
Okay.
I overpowered, but I think it's like for us, it's I don't know. For me, it's like I want to focus him and get him down really fast, so then I don't have to deal with him in extended team fights. I think that's how I deal with it.
That's right. And sorry, as a quick note, Bullywug, I think your mic is in your breath path.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't know how to say that in the nicest way. Anyways, we can continue. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like that you guys you stuck with the same comp, but it was about the prioritization. So who wins? Who wins at the shot calling here? Does Scooty get what he wants?
I mean, most of the time,
Usually-
we
Generally,
listen-
people will calibrate on a target.
Hmm.
Yeah, normally when we hear Scooty say something, it's what Scooty says is the number one thing.
apparently. I think it's a lot of times like we kind of came into agreement once where it was like like what I say is just gonna be the target.
Hmm.
For
It's
having
like-
difficulties, like if everybody's calling different things, Scooty's the voice.
Yeah. And it helps me stay on target, I think, is also
That's
a good
true.
reason.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Lemon, if you have any other questions here, I should give it back to John.
So I saw Rhino that you brought out a little bit. I don't know if he's in here, right?
Yeah,
I'm
Ryan's
in
in
here,
here. Yeah.
Okay, you are in here. Okay, you brought out a little bit of Widow on Gibraltar, but not really on. Or I actually saw a bit of Anubis. How do you think that Widow matchup was against Ginger? And I kind of saw you swap off of that on Gibraltar. So how was your experience on Widow throughout these games?
I'm not really known for my Widow. I'm more a Tracer player. So
Right.
when it comes to Widow, I'll take what I can get. And I didn't really get a lot.
Same.
So it was a pretty quick swap off on both maps. I got wrecked by Ginger on Anubis, and I was like, I'm not playing that anymore. And then on Gibraltar, it was just like, if they're in sight lines, I'm gonna shoot them, but if not, I'm just gonna go back and swap right away.
Okay, cool. John, do you have another question?
I didn't. The only other one I had is how often do you guys just automatically report the Doomfist that won't switch off and then remember that it's on the team?
Yeah, we should have half talk about the Doomfist. They were asking me about the Doomfist.
Yeah,
Half.
oh
yeah.
yeah,
make some
We
comments
should
on
dive
that.
more into that. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, why did you start playing Doomfist for us, Half? Like,
Alright, so I like Doomfist because he the reason why I started playing Doomfist is I wanted to play something that nobody else played, and I considered Doomfist to be pretty difficult. So it was like, oh, I'm up to the challenge. But the main reason is it really complements our playstyle. With Genji, he plays on his own. You can go flank and all. But with our hard dive, and we're just blowing up targets, and we're staying in the fight for an extended period of time, Doomfist works really well. So.
Yeah, and I was even talking about the combination of how you want to run a Doomfist, and because we don't get to see a lot of high level play of Doomfist. I know they use it on Apex. Actually, Rascal, like of course it's Rascal that's playing it. I don't know if you guys follow the Apex scene as much, but what I've seen do really well against me, like in the kill cams, I'm like, I can't do anything against it. You get the rocket punch, even if you miss, you do the uppercut, and then you like shoot them in the air, and usually by that point they're dead. And then you added on to that as well. So you dive into the back line, like 1v4, you uppercut somebody, kill someone in the air, meteor strike, and down in the exact same spot. It's very, very hard to get out of that. Was that something that, in terms of the lineup of the combination, something that you've been working on, or something that you kind of like found to be just natural for you?
In comp, it's very cut and dry on how you want to play. The main combo that you're going to be using is to slam in with your E, uppercut, and kill a squishy, right, with your shots. And then you can punch out. And you just repeat that every single fight. And in comp, that works. But in scrims, when we commit to a fight and we stay in it, I have a really hard time managing my skills. And so it felt pretty sloppy today, but I'm working on it.
So as Doomfist, and I think a lot of the times you guys ran Doomfist and Tracer, and a lot of the times against Adept, who was afar, did you guys ever worry that you weren't going to be able to deal with Adept, or did you guys just focus on everything around her?
We try to take fights extremely fast. Pharah gets a lot of value the longer the fight goes, and by splitting up targets. And so if we focus 100% on the ground fight, we can minimize the effect that Pharah has. And so it wasn't a terribly big issue. However, when they were pushing us and we weren't engaging first and that we were giving them space, it got really difficult.
We'll always go into a fight thinking like if we know they're going to run a pharmacy, which is something that we do struggle with a lot when we play, we're always just thinking about like we're going to try to take the 4v6 ground fight fast though.
Yeah. Usually focusing tanks and such.
Yeah, you can draw Mercy in too with that.
Yeah, because I saw Rhino switch to the Soldier on Gibraltar, or maybe even another map too. So I'm wondering if you guys were trying to bring out something to deal with her, or was it just a lot more focus around her? And I think you guys hit it that you guys were focusing on pretty much on the ground fight with the depth after, until she had the barrage and then rained down, and yeah.
I mean, Rhino.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I just played Soldier because I mentioned before the map. I was like, I've seen Silk Thread play this. I've absorbed all the skill I've got, and now I'm ready to play a little bit of Soldier here. I know it's a good pick, so I'm just gonna do it.
That's my same matchmaking thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw
someone in the pros do it.
Yeah, Tavik plays Widow all the time on a new base. I can do it.
That's sometimes how the decision making process goes. I mean,
I figured on the fly. I think if there's want to at least I'm sure you guys have some celebrating to do, right? I mean, this is a big moment. You've won our first inaugural Broadcast.gg Scrim Nights match of the week, so congrats again. But maybe you guys can do a little shout out about your organization. I know Ungentleman has both the red and black team. What are you guys about, and what are you doing in the future?
So first off, you can go ahead and follow us on our Twitter. Our Twitter is the Ungentleman. I don't know. We're a group of people. We started the team. I don't know. We've been around for like a year.
Yeah, me and Rhino.
And now we're pretty much just building our kind of starting to build our brand. We've always kind of worked on it, but now it's kind of like
more real for
now
us.
Now's the time, yeah. So
we came from being like, oh sorry.
Yeah, I'll just finish what you were saying. We came from being like just a group of friends to and now we've got like our Discord, which is like 60 people, which is like free to join. It's on our Twitter if anyone watching is interested. We do like pugs and stuff. We try to have a bunch of community stuff. Shout out to my mom. I'm gonna watch it with her later.
Coach Mom.
Shout out to Rhino's mom.
But yeah, no, we field two teams, and I guess it's like you know, a lot of this has been development for our teams. Like a lot of the players when we first started, like I was like gold when I first started the team like a year ago, and I think Rhino was
Wow.
like diamond. He was like our
I
diamond.
was
carry or
Masters.
something.
He was the
No,
Masters
I'm pretty sure
carry.
you were barely into Masters.
Guess you 1v1 to settle it, by the way.
Right?
This is
But-
important now.
So
But
somehow you
he-
guys all got boosted or something? That didn't happen.
Pretty much.
Well, yeah, we just kind of, you know, built it up from there. But I don't know. We have like, we picked up, you know, Black at one point because they were just like really close, like rivals with us, and then became our closest ally, I guess you could say, right? And we had like two brothers that were playing on different teams. We had Matt Effort and Lizard
Oh.
Birdie, who's still on Black.
Yeah, we had Lizard Birdie
Yeah.
on last week. They lost unfortunately to Team Venus, so but we saw a
Yeah,
great play out from him.
He's a good
Yeah,
player.
he's insane. So, you know, and just like really, we were really just like growing close to those guys and working with them and really developing like our teams together, and then also, but also being independent too, and working on like building ourselves on our separate paths as well. It's, you know, the guys on Black are good people. Like Showtime, he's really good and he runs that team really well, and I put a lot of trust into him. And you know, I trust him to keep Black in line. I don't have to sit there and, you know, watch over him. They do a really good job, and I think just developing the team, keep growing, keep playing at higher and higher levels, keep competing. I think also just getting more people to compete in Overwatch too is a big thing.
Yeah.
Promoting that, I think it's the most exciting way to play Overwatch. So I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't know if Rhino has any
Great.
more.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about like, well, what's in the future? If no leaks necessary, but if you guys have things in the works, what should we be watching out for from you?
Which owl team is it going to be?
Which our team is not that good yet, but maybe
Yeah,
Rhino.
we're actually. It's only contenders. That's all I got.
I don't know. I think the big thing for us is we're
Manga
just gonna
as-
shoot for playoffs in open
Yeah.
division. We kind of got close, but like I think we're shooting for closer and just refining our play style. We're doing really well for from where we, you know, first started, and even though we have like different players and stuff, we've had some like really solid coaching, and it really helped us out to, I guess, grow. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see where we play in the future. So
Right, and just to catch everyone up, else up that doesn't know, I believe that both the red and black team placed won 7 games, lost 3 matchups in
Yep.
open division, and I think unfortunately that places you outside of the top 16. Even some of the 8 and 2 teams are going to be out of the top 16 as well. It's a little bit
Yeah.
tough, but I mean, when you have that many teams, I actually really do like the Swiss bracket where they reseed every time, because it's really efficient for moving things along. But I mean, there's going to be another season very soon. So looking forward to, of course, we're happy to have you guys on here for a broadcast, and hope to broadcast you in Open Division finals in the future and in Open Division in general, if not for our Scrim Nights, of course.
Of
Yep,
course, yeah.
definitely. It's always a good time having you guys. You
Yeah, it's super
production
fun.
value is amazing. So
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you,
thanks
thank
for coming on, and congrats on the 3-1 win. And maybe there'll be another UG
I didn't-
color, insert color here that'll go against Venus.
I think
Brown.
I think the next match though is when Team Venus comes back to their full power, because they had a sub today. You did
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
but we might have to. I don't know. I think we have to have a third showdown.
You have to go through the
right?
whole rainbow of
Yeah.
UG.
more, yeah.
UG Red versus full Venus.
had a sub-
Or next
Yeah.
planet, Team Mars. and
Rematch?
then
Team
We're
Mars,
down.
there we go.
We're down for a rematch. So
All
Yeah,
right.
no, Venus was honestly like probably one of the most fun games I've had. Even though it was what 2-1, 3-1, I don't
3-1,
remember.
yeah. They were very
3-1.
close. Yeah.
It
games
like
are fun.
it was really fun. It was really
Games
like
are
intense.
close.
I was like yelling the whole time. I just, like, all of my roommates.
At the
Um,
end, he was like, "I'm a little lightheaded." So
Yeah,
Let me
I
see
felt
my-
like I was gonna pass out. This is yeah,
that's normal though. So
yeah. It happens.
Overwatch.
Yeah, dude.
Overwatch does that to you. Gaming does that to you. Brings us all together, gets us lightheaded, and I don't know the last part of that phrase, but we'll have to come up with something because everything comes in 3. So, but thanks again, guys, for coming on. Thanks for chatting with us, and congrats again on the win.
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you for having us. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Bye.
no problem.
See ya.
Bye.
All right.
Everybody
Those
leaves.
guys are fun. I
Yeah.
like those
Oh,
guys.
no.
Dude, Rhino's comedy.
All by myself.
They're still here. We can't talk good about them
there's
though.
they're still
God.
hanging out.
No, you
I'm
guys
so
have to
sorry.
leave.
Worst
So sorry.
interview ever.
Leave.
Oh man, good stuff. All right.
That was good. Well, hey, do we have anything else on the docket here? Are we ready to go?
We're ready to wrap up.
I think we're
John.
good.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in for another Broadcast.gg Scrim night. Make sure to follow the channel below. Follow us on Twitter at Broadcast.gg. Links to everything there as well. Mushu, did you get that website up yet?
I'm still working
Waiting
on
on you,
it.
dude.
Still working on it, man. But we still
Waiting
have our
on you,
old one.
dude.
If you type in broadcast.gg, it will bring you to a janky website. But the other less janky,
It's like the Dunder Mifflin website and like the
Oh my
first
God.
the
yeah,
little
yeah.
stick guy with the jackhammer under construction.
I do have an under
Uh,
construction page on. If you guys can preview it, if you go to broadcastgg.com, that's where the one I'm working on is live, because I want to start putting. We've already started putting content there, so people can start using that resource if they want. But everything you need to find is broadcast.gg, and we'll be announcing that on Twitter, of course. And you'll hear about it if you guys are watching us here. Just follow our socials, like Kick Tripod said. Join the Discord is the most important part, probably.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's going to do it for another Broadcast.gg night. Thank you guys so much. And I think I actually might be back tomorrow. I
Ooh,
think
yes,
I'm,
you are.
I'm hosting
You are.
another Venus match
It is.
tomorrow.
Woo,
Yeah.
that sounds fun.
So
Team Venus
that's gonna
versus
be fun.
Wolf Spain. So two women's teams
That's
going
the
head to
two girl
head.
teams.
Yeah. Finally
doing,
getting some girl.
We gotta
girl
watch
power.
that.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I thought you were gonna say like girl on girl action or something.
No, I wasn't going. Actually, I wasn't even thinking about that.
I was.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
And
See ya.
see ya.
That's how you end it. Yeah.